Welcome in, welcome in. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 my favorite gamer word. Today's early Friday stream as per usual. Hello, hello, hello. Hope you're having a good day today. If not, I'm not gonna make your day better. Uh, um, I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, it's not like we're blackpilling today. At least I wouldn't say like it's Fanta black pills or anything like that. It's just yesterday Trump did a lot of like small things. Well, I say small things, but like there's like a bunch of like various like small like random stuff that happened yesterday. Um, and so like and it's not exactly good, but it's not exactly bad either, depending on how things go. And so also I just called it Trump shenanigans. You know, it's just Trump just doing shenanigans, you know, just doing things, existing. So um that kind of deal. But hello, hello, hello. Hope you're having a good day today. My gamer woods. My gamer woods here. Um category is still Hello Kitty. Oh Jesus Christ. That should be changed ASAP. Uh, yes, Trump shenanigans and Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Yeah, that's he's you know what? That's what he's gonna turn the Gaza Strip into, right? Like he's gonna stop the Israel-Palestine war. And then he's gonna glass that section to wipe it out completely. And then he's gonna build his own little Hello Kitty Island Adventure there. But we can call it little Saint James 2.0. Um that seems what it be. And honestly, chat, I haven't played Hello Kitty since Wednesday, but I really want to play Hello Kitty again. It's such a easy, brain dead game that's really cute, and I really want Retsuko. And then I'm just like, you know what? I kind of actually want to play Hello Kitty again, just because, just to purposely turn off my brain. Uh, it's because it's the only game you're good at. No, don't do that to me. You're right, but don't do that to me, man. Lord Miles is gonna turn Haiti into Hello Kitty Island Adventure IRL. See, he said he's gonna do that last year, and that hasn't happened yet. So I'm a little bit disappointed. But I know when you get stuck in Saudi jail, it kind of makes it hard for you to accomplish your goals in life. Uh, I thought you were gonna be out for a while, Mal. Oh no, that's gonna be next week. So, reminder, chat. Next week, the 14th, through the 24th, I will be AWOL. I will be missing in action. I will be non-existent. During that time period, and I'll start streaming again on the 25th, where I am going on vacation. I'm going on family vacation to someplace a little bit warmer. And I'm excited about that. But that's next week. So you still got a week of my retardation and you will suffer. So congratulations. I don't make the rules here, okay? You're now that you joined my stream once, you're locked in and you're locked in, chained to the ground and my slave. I'm sorry. But you get your own vacation for about 10 days. Which is a lot actually, now that I think about it. That's a lot of time gone. Which excites me because I'm like I haven't had one like a long vacation and many years at this point. At the same time, that's a lot of days gone, and I'm scared what's going to be happening during those 10 days. Like, man, if so much stuff happens in one day, what's going to happen in 10? I'm a little bit worried, but oh well. She's going on vacation to Iran. Yeah, Iran's so far away. That's what I'm doing. I'm running away from all of y'all. Insufferable.
Is it the Jews?
God.
Is it the Jews?
Oh yeah. Speaking of me running away, the reason why I was late today which honestly wasn't that bad for being 4 minutes late. But the reason why I was late today was because I'm black and I'm from the 80s. I kid you not. Um, like an hour before my alarm was supposed to go off, all of a sudden, the ceiling bird decided to scream. And a goddamn pterodactyl screeching. I'm not kidding. Like that thing went off like fucking crazy. And I literally jumped out of bed, my heart in my throat, just like freaking the fuck out. And then it stopped for like 30 seconds later, and I was like, oh fuck. Okay, well I still have an hour left to go to bed. I'm gonna go back to bed. I'm gonna go back to bed. I don't even know why it went off, but I know my dad and his fiance are up. I'm gonna go back to bed. I'll let them deal with it. Not my problem. But as I was falling back asleep, holy fuck, I do not understand in-laws. I do not like I don't get it. How do they deal with the ceiling bird? I just don't get it. Like, that thing is so loud now. I mean, to be fair, also the ceiling bird's like right next to my room. I kid you not. It's like literally 2 feet away from my door. If not less than that it exists. So it's right there. But that thing kept on fucking chirping for like, I think like 10 minutes. I don't know. I would like fall back asleep and then beep. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Just ignore it. Just ignore it. Beep. Oh, come on. Beep. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Like, just let me sleep. I have an hour before I have to wake up. And then I did that stereotypical thing where, you know, like if you wake up before your alarm does and you fall back asleep and you oversleep your alarm. I did that. I did that. But by the time the ceiling bird stopped chirping, beep. I fell back asleep. I just do not like. I would like a scientific explanation for why they can just live with it in the background their whole entire life. Beep. Like what and how? Lower IQ people have easier time getting used to annoying sounds. They close their eyes and think of home in the savannah. I guess because they have to like it's a loud. I mean, nature's loud in general, but like you go outside and you hear the crickets and you hear the birds and you hear the owls and the whippoorwills and different things like that. Like and it's fine, right? You don't beep. Like what? I don't get it. So you didn't replace the battery either? Fuck no! I'm too black for that. Like I said, I let my dad deal with it. I was trying to go back to sleep. I was not dealing with the ceiling bird today. Beep! The Femcell bedrock has gotten to the point where the U.S. Fire Code tells you to wash. Okay, yeah, and speaking of washing, actually, okay. So, and like I said, black and 80s is my excuse. So the 80s part comes in because I got a haircut the other day, right? And that's identity crisis, whole shebang, whatever. I'm adjusting to it, though it's not. I'm still having a mild identity crisis. I still think I got a cut too short, but it's fine. It's fine. Whatever. It'll grow back, right? So I showered. Like I know, so shock and surprise. I actually took a shower, right? And I took a shower before going to bed. And normally I let my hair air dry and I brush it out like 3 times to keep it straight. And that's like that way I don't have to that way I don't have to blow dry it because the heat damages your hair. And that's how it works. Like I can make it look like it's been blow dried as long as I brush it consistently. Now, if I don't brush, it's a different story. But it's like, whatever. But as long as it's air dried, it's fine. The problem is, I did that. I didn't do any of that. And it was still a bit damp when I went to bed. So when I woke up, Holy shit. Holy shit. My hair was all over the place. It's still all over the place. I need to straighten it when stream's over. I'm gonna have to straighten my hair for the first time in literally years because it is so poofy and so all over the place that I looked in the mirror for like a solid minute, just like, holy fuck, you're one ugly motherfucker. Identity crisis and drops a few points on the scale at the same time. I managed to do both of that with this new haircut. You have an afro. No, it's no, it's 80s afro. Okay, I'm black and have 80s hair. Oh. Fuck. It just, man. Good start to the day. Beep! Beep! And 80s. But we're going back in time and chat. No wonder we're having a war with Iran. Alright? Fuck. No. Yeah, I usually shower before bed, often leaves a Dragon Ball Z here. Yeah, normally I don't shower before bed. Because of this reason. That way my hair can air dry and I can brush it out. But, I mean, technically if you want my full sleep schedule, I fell asleep. Then my dog woke me up a few hours later. I was gross and needed a shower. I could tell I wasn't gonna go back to bed anytime soon. So I took a shower. And then I laid in bed. Did some Amazon shopping. Like a true woman that I am. And then I fell back asleep. And then the ceiling bird decided to scream. And then I fell back asleep. And then I was late for stream. So it's been an interesting Friday. Are the ice agents allowed in here? Yes. You know how many browns I have in my chat? We need more ice agents than we actually have. Speaking of browns, thank you, Kalergi, for the 500 warp tokens. Thank you. Your new stepmom is Harley a vacation. She's gonna start yelling at you in Quango as soon as the knot is tied. Okay, Kalergi, you're actually legitimate British. Do you mean Quango as in this, like, the American sense that the right was trying to adopt, where it's just another slur for brown? Or do you mean, like, the actual quasi-NGO, like, corporate bullshit? I'm kind of curious here, because the context there is very important. No, I'm using it ironically. Oh, okay. Okay, fair enough. You're not wrong. Thank you, Crystals, for the $4 with those. Thank you. To go chirp, chirp. Oh fuck! I forgot to add a goal on YouTube. So the YouTube super chats. Whoopsies. And let's see, we have 3. Okay, so the 3's already come through. I'll make the goal for the P.E.P.E hoodie to 5. That way, like, it's... Yeah, there we go. It makes it better that way. Thank you, guys. And thank you, Gus of the Dorks, for the $5 with those. Really, Mall? Really? Hello Kitty Island? Island, whatever is fine. But MLP's step too far? I see how it is. Also, follow Equestria. Get that goal one day. It is a goal. I made it expensive, so it's gonna take about 5 years to get to it, unless some oil baron jumps in, which don't do that, by the way. I have too many games on the list before I even get close to this. Also, yes, Hello Kitty is Floyd Maxine, followed Equestria as Brody fucking weird shit. I will stand on this. Thank you very much. And thank you, Clarky, for the $2 videos. Trick Blacks. Ah! Okay, I didn't die. Okay. So I had my foot like I had my legs crossed, and I felt something on my foot. Just kind of like brushed it or whatever the case is. I thought it was just my pants, something like I wasn't really thinking about because I was talking and you know yapping at the same time, and then the thing on my foot moved. The thing on my foot moved as I brushed it off, and it felt weird. Oh, apparently it's just... Okay, that's annoying, but that's not a big deal. I was just caught off guard by whatever the fuck that was. Which is a stink bug, and I'm right now looking down the ground. Stay about 5 feet away from, about 5 feet. Great. We've had a stink bug invasion, like all for like a year now. Actually, I kid you not. Like for like at least a year, no matter the season, it's just constant stink bugs are just in the house. You see one. You see one, eventually it dies, and then like less than 2 days later another one appears, and then that exists for like a few days and then dies, and then another one appears. I don't get it. Like I don't know what's bringing them. I'm not sure what's attracting them. I'm not sure where the hole is. I'm not sure why they're still alive no matter the season. It's just been an invasion for like a year. Are you sure there aren't squash beetles? I don't know. They fucking smell if you actually pick them up. I made that mistake the first time. What's a squash beetle? I'm various bugs. Um, nope, it's a stink bug. It's a stink bug. A brown marmorated stink bug. Oh, it's an invasive species? What? It's an insect family native to China, Japan, Korea. Oh my god. September. It's here. It was introduced in Pennsylvania in 1998. Wow, okay then. Yeah, no, let's see. Yeah, no, it's a stink bug, and they're fucking annoying, and they just don't fucking die. I mean, actually, they do die. They just magically just reappear all over again. Oh. Yeah, and invasive to your house. Yeah, I'm very aware of that, painfully. Now I'm crying and I'm gonna blow my nose. Give me a second. There we go. Okay. You gotta get Vominos Pest. I don't know what that is. I just, like, the thing is, there's only, like, one of them at a time. Then, like I said, they survive for a few days, they die, and then another one appears. They're reborn like a goddamn phoenix. I don't know what it is. But they're here. Anyways, I was trying to read super chats as I was getting behind on them. Okay, thank you, Clarky, for the $2 reduce. That the trick blacks have perfected. It's to be more irritating and disruptive than the ceiling bird, thus gaining immunity. Okay, that explains the low IQ being okay with loud noises and nuisances and different things like that, because they themselves are the loud noise and nuisances. Got it here. I thank you, Pokewoods, for the $2 reduce. Hi, Amal. I'm glad I'm able to catch a live stream again. The last month or so has been insane. At least where there's no major world events walls away. Anyway, wishing you well. Well, thank you for stopping by. Glad you can enjoy stream, and I hope the past month has been insane in the good way. Thank you, Father Joe II, for the $5 dues. Hi, Maul. It sure sucks to be unable to defend Trump now, but the smug arrogance of liberals is even more nauseating. Here's some might help you make you feel better. Thank you. Yeah, it's not great. It's not exactly great, the Trump situation. But I still stand that he's better than Kamala, okay? Like, I know I'm aware I have a lot in common with the cat boy. But I'm not one of his followers. And one strong difference I have is acceleration doesn't work, and voting for Kamala isn't it. Even though this is very frustrating and I'm very upsetty about a lot of stuff, he's still better than Kamala because Kamala would make things worse by a very long shot. Not like Iran war is much better. Actually, it is better, but it's better than just hordes of illegals coming through the border, and plus even more legal immigration, and then transing kids and a whole bunch of various things. At this point, I'm not even sure anymore. I'm pretty sure, because if Kamala wanted to be another 4 years of Biden, that the border would be completely flooded all over again. Because as the border czar, she did an amazing job controlling it. Clearly, the left, like Elon, would probably be suffering for buying Twitter and making a free speech platform. They definitely would have gone after him even harder, and we wouldn't be able to have the discussions that we have today. Over the different issues, the online right would still be pretty neutered in the scene. Because thanks to Elon for all his faults, there's been a huge jump in the online right. Well, further right, frankly, for good reasons, because we can finally discuss the issues at hand and make people more aware. And for a lot of different factors. Legal immigration would still be a huge problem. I could definitely see that opening up as well, because they just want to flood the country with browns. The gays still be rampant. Black Lives Matter. The corruption would be even deeper than it already is. Like there's a lot of things that would have gotten significantly worse under Kamala. Especially with like a lot of her economic policies. I don't remember all of them. But from when she was running for president, but a lot of them were like communist adjacent stuff. Like taxing unrealized gains and various other forms like that. And it's just like, no, I don't want my people to become even poorer with even more fucking taxes. So no, I'm good on that. I'm good. Oh, Trump is still better, even for all his faults. Which is frustrating because he's got a lot of fucking faults, but nevertheless still better. Thank you, Rubber Band Jizzle Jigga Physics, for the $2 videos. Thank you. Congratulations on getting 3rd for White Supreme of the Year, the White VTuber Awards all. I believe in you. Next year, you can sweep the reward. Hashtag Alien Isolation. Well, I can't exactly sweep the reward when I'm Blasian myself. See? Maybe I should have gone for the Black VTuber Awards instead, like the true Black Queen that I am. But I will put your $2 dues to Alien Isolation. Give me a second. Oh, this page is about to fall off, but it's fine. Go. Thank you, Surviving Alter, for the $3 dues. Thank you. Don't worry, Maul, he will never give you up. He will never let you down. He'll never desert you. I hate you, but I love the reference, because I still love Rick Rolls, even though it's a 20-year-old meme, but I'm ancient from the 80s myself. Thank you, Crystals, for the $5 videos. Thank you. Judo Americanisms have reached levels never before seen. Yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine here. Blasian, yeah. I'm darker than the night sky, and I cannot see through my eyes. Why do you think I have to wear glasses and I'm blind, chat? My eyes are literally slits. Like, a thinner slit than a vagina, okay? Don't ask me how the physiognomy works. I mean, Blasians, the Blasian's one thing you just don't mix, right? It's like white and black. You don't mix with Asians, okay? But for some reason, that's what happened, because God hates me. I do wonder how many people actually take me seriously when I make jokes like this, actually, because I saw somewhere that somebody thought I was Indian, and I couldn't tell if it was actually a joke or not. Because like I don't really make too many jokes that I'm personally Indian. I usually make like the black or the Blasian joke or something like that. I guess with my lack of showers, I'm basically Indian, right? But like, I was just like, I know I call my mods Indian and different things. I just like, I mean, I guess I am spiritually Indian. I'm basically a Dalit, right? But I'm like, do you actually think I'm Indian? I'm just kind of curious, actually. I do 100% of the time. Good, good. Because after all, it's all a grift anyways. I'm just actually a black man with a voice changer. We found you at a very Indian time in your life. Amal needs 500 Google Play gift cards. Or $500 Google Play gift cards. I can't even read English. See, I really am Indian, I guess. I thought you were a Jew. I'm also a Jew. Have you seen my schnoz? Have you seen my schnoz, chat? Like, come on. I'm obviously a Jew. Sorry, the Notre Dame! The Notre Dame! Oh, I didn't mean to put the Christmas thing on, but I mean, yeah. Feliz Navidad! Feliz Navidad! Cuando salisa. I don't know the lyrics. I'm not actually Slappinish, but you know, spiritually again, once again. I am Mrs. Worldwide or Mr. Worldwide, depending if I'm a man or not. That also depends on my mood. I'm like gender fluid. I'm everything and nothing at the same time. Schrodinger's Amal. Mary Amalness. I'm everything but not white, and that's the important fact there. I am literally the Clarky plan in real time. Consequences of tiny hat actions. You're not a cartoon Dragon Fox anime character? I'm shocked! Shocked! Well, not that shocked. Yeah, I mean, you should be shocked. I'm not a fucking fox, okay? Do not lump me in with those creatures there. I am a wolf. I understand the misunderstanding. I have big ears and a fluffy tail. But, like, I'm supposed to be a wolf. I just like big ears and a fluffy tail. So that's why they exist. But I'm supposed to be a wolf, okay? There's a difference. There's a difference. But it's fine. It's fine. What the fox says in this case, Dragon Cat. Thank you. Unironically, that's a good song. I haven't listened to it since it like came out, like what, 10 years ago now. But what the fox say is actually really good. It's really catchy. And came out of literally nowhere, like a huge fucking shitpost, and I love it. Okay? What the fuck say? What the fuck say? I thought you were a woman, my bad. Yeah, how dare you misgender me? Jesus Christ, you guys are so cruel. I'm gonna report all your accounts right now. The ears definitely scream wolf. Yeah, I have a feeling that's sarcastic, not going to lie. It's supposed wolves are supposed to have tiny ears and tinier tails and not as fluffy, but big ears are very cute, especially when you have the horns on top of it and a big fluffy tail on the back. So yeah, listen, I'm a wolf. Believe in me. I thought you were a dragon girl. I'm an amalgamation. I am a 1/3 dragon, 1/3 wolf, and a 1/3 human, and 100% completely fucking absolutely gosh darn retarded. Ah. La, 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 la. I licked the fucking microphone on accident. Fuck. I did it again. God, fuck. Hold on. Thank you, Seawall, for the $10 those. Thank you. Happy Friday Mall. Weekend time almost here. Hope all like me stuck at work make it through our shifts. Yes. Well, you will get through, and you will have the amalgamation yapping here over really stupid shit like la 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 la. The real question is, are you hungry like the wolf? Not at the moment, but probably after stream, I'll be hungry. Probably. I'm never hungry when I wake up. It always takes me like an hour or two. And if I try to eat like right after I wake up, I get nauseous. That's been the way ever since I was a kid. Like as long as I can remember. If I eat not long after I wake up, I just get sick and nauseous. And like I just don't like it. And so I just wait until I'm actually hungry. And I'm not hungry yet, so I'll wait till after stream and probably make some food. What will you eat then, Amal? Probably salmon, because I've been treating myself with 1 serving of salmon whenever I go grocery shopping, and I do that like every couple weeks. So I treat myself to salmon every couple weeks, and it's good. It's good. Did the Duran Duran reference go over her head? Nope. I am like now the song's stuck in my head. Hungry like a wolf. Da da ba da ba da ba da ba da 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 da. I just don't know the lyrics. Ba I don't know the lyrics still. Ba da 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 da. However, the superior Duran Duran song is Rio. Okay? Rio's the superior Duran Duran song. At least I only know their radio hits, okay? Her name is Rio and she dances in the sand. Just like a river twisting through the... Wait, fuck, how does it go? But yeah, it's a superior song. Yeah. Oh, now I want to listen to Rio. Oh, it's such a good song. So if you want the superior 80s band just in general, Aha is the better 80s band, and I will stand by this, okay? I am very proud of the fact that Aha is the superior 80s band. I don't care if they're technically a one-hit wonder in America. In Europe, they had a couple more hits than that, and including South America. So, and then they have multiple hits in my heart. And so therefore, they are the superior 80s band, and I will stand by this. Thank you, Aljak Saga, for the $5 videos. Thank you. Wolves have packs. Foxes are solitary. Yeah. You know what? Technically, I should probably be a fox because I'm very solitary in general. Like, I don't really work with a pack mentality. I mean, for all technicality for reasons, right? If I'm going based on my personality, I very much like being left alone and keeping to myself. I don't really talk to people. I'm never the one to reach out when it comes to DMs or fuck friendships in real life or anything like that. I go hide in my room. I don't really talk to people unless they talk to me. I just exist on my own, and I'm pretty content that way. If we're gonna go with that, however, wolves are cooler. I mean, honestly, I like foxes too, and I wish they would make good pets. If I could go to Russia and get one of those pet foxes that they groomed, I would love that. Minus the fact that apparently they fucking reek. But hey, it's worth it for the cuteness. But I've always liked wolves since I was a small child. So, wolf it is. Nah, you're a lone wolf. Oh yeah, I'm such an edgelord here. What's up, chat? Your homie, your lone wolf is here. You know, I do my own thing. I'm a strong, independent woman. You know, I just howl at the moon, and that's when I do my weird fucking dances at night. Which should be happening relatively soon because we're in March, baby. So spring's upon us. I can't wait for it till it gets warmer, then I can do my moon dances at 3 a.m. again. Yes! And then the neighbors will call the cops on me. Yes! I ironically can't wait for that. Like, there's the you know, it's there's been like a full moon more recently, and just like it's too warm outside. I can go outside and dance in the hills. But not yet. Not yet. It needs to be a little bit warmer. A little bit warmer. She'll definitely scream what the fox says. We're probably in the moon while the neighbor's thinking or when to go. Yes. Yeah, I'm waiting for the day the cops get called on me. Like the black man that I am. But today is not that day, and hopefully not tomorrow. Okay. So, there are actual real topics to talk about today, chat. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? I actually collect tabs to yap about various subjects other than my weird fucking quirks, because I'm the quirk chungus supreme. But you know, let's get into it. I didn't have exactly a good transition from that. I just thought of myself wearing the Burger King crown there, and I was like, man, I kind of want to toggle for that now. Hold on, let me write this down so I'll forget and never do it. And maybe in 6 months you'll see it, even though it probably takes like 10 minutes to actually do. Burger King crown. That's it. Beautiful. Okay. Party getting started. 3, 2. Oh no. Why are the Jews going off? Is it 9/11 again? Okay. Well, then. Anyways, yesterday, Trump made a Truth Social post talking about the Save America Act, which, for those who don't know, is a bill being passed through Congress at the moment, where it would require people to show ID, to actually vote. I know, crazy fucking foreign concept. And he wrote the Save America Act. 1. All voters must show voter ID identification. All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote. 3. No mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military travel. Okay, all seem very good. This is all within the Save America Act, just in general. If I remember correctly, it already passed the House a couple weeks ago. It just need to go through the Senate. You'd think I would remember this scene, I covered it, but memory of a goldfish activating. It's all reasonable. Pretty much every country in the whole entire world requires all this stuff, even if they do commit fraud in their elections. But regardless, they still do this. Multiple states require this, except for select blue states, where they purposely are cheating without this. But this would be a federal level requirement, just for you know, be the case for voting across the board. So these blue states like California, Illinois, New York City, New York, you know, those deep blue states can't cheat with their elections anymore, because they definitely do some weird shenanigans. Especially since they don't require voter ID. You just show up and you just vote. In fact, in Minnesota, they have a vouch program. Fun fact. Where one person who has an ID can vouch for 8 people who don't have IDs and say, yes, trust me, bro. They actually are a citizen, and so they can vote. They can do that for up to 8 people. Yeah, totally no weird shenanigans going on there at all. But this was the case for the Save America Act when it passed in the House a few weeks ago. Very basic bitch, actually pretty simple, straightforward type of stuff. But then for some reason we got number 4 and 5. No men and women's sports. I mean, I agree. No, I don't want any trannies involved in women's sports. But what has this anything to do with the Voting Act? Because that's what the Save America Act is. I forget what the Save actually stands for because it's an acronym, but it's the V I know stands for fucking voting. So I'm not sure what this has, and the two and then 5, no transgender mutilation surgery for children. Okay, I agree with that. Without the express written approval of the parents. What? What? Okay, so, like, I mean, I agree with no men and women's sports. I agree with no transgender mutilation surgery for children, but this doesn't have anything to do with the Voting Act that they're trying to pass here. And these stipulations make it even harder for Democrats to accept this because even though they've been beat in the polls repeatedly and nobody likes them anymore, they're still dying on the hill for transgenderism because it's a core part of their ideology. So why would you add this in the Save America Act? Because it would make it harder to pass. And then on top of that, what's the okay, no, it should be a full stop, no transgender mutilation surgery for children. No, like that's it. That's it. Like the parents that are allowing the kids to become transgender will already allow them for the surgery. Like they already will give the written approval because the only ones transing the kids are the parents, not the kids themselves. Like there are some of them that are like 14 years old and on their equivalent of Tumblr and like let's say Roblox and Discord and being groomed, who think they're trans, but they're not going to get the surgery unless their parents actually allow them to. And if their parents already allow them to over the past few years, then they're still going to get the written approval even when this passes. And it doesn't stop anything because these kids are still being mutilated, and it's horrible for them. Like this doesn't solve the problem. This just allows the current status quo to continue on. This is retarded. It should be full stop. No, kids should not be trans. That's simple. If they're over 18, then that's a bit of a different story. We get into some complications there because on one hand, if you can get plastic surgery and Botox and stuff like that and you're adult, then, go ahead, have fun, you do you. But at the same time, actually cutting off your arm, you being fucking literally insane. So why should you chop off your dick? There's definitely some limitations there for what, in that case, and that's definitely questionable. But at least since they're over 18, they're legally adults. They can, it's expensive. They can decide at that point. When they're literally kids, which is, up to the point that they're 18, no, like they're fucking retarded, which is its own problem, to be fair, with the infantilization of society. But it's a different story for a different day. They shouldn't be getting this life-changing surgery because there's no going back. Once you chop your boobs off, it's over. Once you chop your penis off, it's over. You have to deal with a whole bunch of horrible side effects and literally shitting out of your new hole, and the constant cleaning, dilating doesn't work. It gets so super infected, and these people don't live a very long time. And then if you just see the simple hormone side of things too, you're a patient for life. You take these hormones and you're done. It has a lot of side effects, even if you take them for only 6 months. If you're a woman and you take testosterone, the voice changing, the voice deepening is permanent. If you get fit, you get hair in weird places. And you have to deal with that once again for the rest of your life. It's horrible. And 14-year-olds, basically, and anybody under the age of 18 should not be making these decisions. So it should be no transgender mutilation surgery for children, full stop. Not including without the express written approval of the parents. This is retarded. However, after getting lots of backlash for about an hour or two, I was kind of watching this go down. I almost made a tweet myself. There was an updated post. So, the Save America Act. 1. All voters must show voter ID identification. 2. All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote. 3. No mail-in ballots except for illness, spill-day, military travel. 4. No men and women sports. This is so far basically 1-to-1 with the original post. 5. No transgender mutilation surgery for children. Full stop. So then the question is, okay, so what version of this is actually in the bill? Because these are two very different things. Without the express written approval of the parents, it's completely different than stopping it at all. Because once again, the parents that are allowing the kids to become transgender are the ones already doing it and will give the written approval regardless of the case. So it still just continues on the status quo. It doesn't actually solve anything. Versus this completely stops it 100%. So what is actually in the bill? That is now the real question here. Because if this is a PR move to calm people down, then okay, that's really fucking shitty. If they're going to actually alter this and make sure it is no transgender mutilation surgery for children and full stop, then the problem is this doesn't exist anymore. Minus the fact that I think adding 4 and 5 is a little bit retarded because it's going to make it harder for Democrats to pass this, because now you're going for 3 issues that they deeply care about. 1, they want to continue on with the voter fraud. 2, they like trainings in sports because they actually hate women. And 3, they really like grooming children. So those are very 2 different, those are 2 added things to already a controversial thing that the Democrats don't want to do. 4 and 5 are important to me compared to 1, 2, and 3. I mean, yes, I would agree with that. It goes in order of priorities. Right, trying to put the amount of flex seal onto to stop the problem from flooding as much as possible. And in this case, 1 through 3 help solve the voting fraud, or at least a good chunk of it, because it will still probably happen regardless, because it's just corruption in government, but by default. But it will help solve the vast majority of voting fraud, and a lot of these blue states might not be as blue as they actually are. And a lot of these different things that like the women's and men and women's sports and trans surgery can possibly be voted out of these states once the voting fraud's been taken care of. Like, for example, in Florida used to be a swing state not that long ago. It was with Ohio, I think Pennsylvania, and then what was I forget all the different voting swing states off the top of my head. But Florida used to be one of the swing states, but then DeSantis got in, and for all his faults, he doesn't really have that many faults in my personal opinion, but minus it's just the anti-Semitism stuff, which is unfortunate, but whatever. He was able to go in and change the voting rules to require a voter ID and strengthen them a lot. And now all of a sudden is a deep red state. Now a large part of that too is the fact that a lot of people fled during COVID from the blue states because they were so insufferable down to Florida, because Florida had the most lax COVID rules during that time period, which is a little bit questionable, because okay, are those people fleeing actually Republicans because they're coming from a blue state, because it's like a Texas situation where they're turning it purple instead? But Texas also has the Indian problem too, so it's kind of hard to tell what's going on there. But now Florida's like a deep red state because of partly because of the people flooding it, and also because of DeSantis making the voter laws. And so therefore, by making a red state, it will still have various problems because corruption is still oh my fucking god, the stink bug is back. Okay, hold on. Higher priorities than saving America. Thank you. Okay. Then they will stop the men and women sports and trans mutilation surgery. That is kind of that's the thought process that goes in there. Um um however, I can definitely see 4 and 5 being really important. Mainly 5. 4 is unfortunate, but it's a very niche thing. I guess because also it depends if you look at it simply Olympics level or if we're talking high school level. Because if you get high school level, then that affects young girls, and that's bad. But 5 especially because, like I said, all like I explained earlier, all that stuff is permanent. You can't just take someone off hormone therapy and have them go back to normal. You can't just regrow boobs again. And even puberty blockers fuck up a child's life. You can't just go on them for a couple years and then go off of them and then puberty restarts. That's not how it works. If you miss puberty, you're fucked. That simple. And you'll have a huge a bunch of different problems with that. So that's it. And the fact that kids are involved. This is one of those cases where think of the children as actually a legitimate excuse because of how damaging transgender surgeries are, especially for kids. But if we can solve the voting fraud problem, ideally, the rest will be solved with it later. So I just don't know why this has been added in it, because at least unless I missed something, because like to be fair, right, I'm not perfect. I missed lots of stuff. And you know, I'm not like a hyper autist and do like a million hours of research into different things. But when I looked at the Save America Act a few weeks ago when it was being passed out of the House, it was very simply just require voting ID, whether it be like a birth certificate or passport or driver's license, and no mail-in ballots. Like, it was very basic bitch and very, very simple. Not sure why 4 and 5 have been added. It doesn't make sense to me because it makes it even harder for it to pass. Puberty blockers make sense for the rare 9-year-old that starts her period or puberty, but that's rare. Even then, like, okay, so I guess maybe it's a hot take in this case, but even in the really extremely rare case where the 9-year-old starting puberty, girls are starting puberty at younger ages, just in general. Now, there is definitely something concerning about that. And there's lots of concerns about like the hormones that chicken breast is being pumped in with, which is why you should try to get organic grass-fed chicken as much as possible, because like the Tyson chickens are not exactly best with how much they're pumped with saline and other hormones that make them plumper. Plus, their living conditions make them absolutely terrible. So there's some theories there. There's also the birth control in the water, which has the estrogen and other female hormones. And that's overall making men, it's also affecting men too, and making them have lower testosterone and making them more feminine overall. Literally turning the freaking frogs gay, I kid you not. And there's a whole bunch of other things that exist out there that are causing young girls to have puberty younger. And it's unfortunate and needs to be solved, but if every girl's having puberty when they're 10 years old now, stopping the puberty blockers is not gonna, like, using puberty blockers is not gonna help in that case. And it might actually be more harmful to them, because their body, once again, is going through puberty. And that's necessary. I'm going to war with this fucking stink bug. Holy fucking shit. I'm gonna have to actually get the vacuum out for the first time in my life. A mall CIA black handler is telling her the black pill more. I'm sorry, this is my natural default for things, okay? Compare ingredients from foods in the US to Canada, the difference is shocking? Yes. Same with like the EU, for example. EU's got a ton of faults. It overregulates insanely. But the one good thing they overregulate is food. Because the amount of fucking shit that's in American food is disgusting. I know some people are like, oh, organic's a scam, things like that. Okay, it depends on what organic stuff you get, because unfortunately, once again, the American standards are dog shit, And so you have to actually do your research on what you're eating, because fun fact, whenever you stuff something and put it in your body, it has negative side effects or positive side effects depending on the situation. And so you have to actually do your research into what's genuinely organic, what's genuinely grass-fed, what's genuinely free reign. Because they can slap that label onto it and be a scam because the requirements for it aren't as strict as they should be. But they still actually exist out there, and they're still actually significantly better than the cheap Tyson chicken that you get from Walmart. You just actually have to do research into how to be healthier. It sucks, but it's just the way it is when you live in America, so you don't fucking die from cancer AIDS when you're 40. And yes, I am literally that person where if I actually go into the grocery store and if I see something new, the first thing I do is I grab it and I turn it around to read the ingredients label. I do that with literally everything. I am that person and I am proud. Suck my dick. Eat Z-bugs, yes. I don't wanna eat Z-bugs. Like for example, now I'm not gonna say the brand because I don't know how rare they are, and I don't want to actually dox myself by talking about food. But I went grocery shopping today, and I found like snacky stuff because it is getting close to the blood moon, and I was looking for something relatively healthy and snacky at the same time. And it has like 5 ingredients, and they're actually like relatively healthy. And I tried them when I got home, and they're actually pretty good. And they're actually very low calorie, and they're a little bit chocolatey. They're a little snacky stuff, but for low calories and like 5 ingredients, and they're all like, it's rice flour and cane sugar and avocado oil, like, and then and cocoa powder. Like you can't really ask much more, for healthy stuff. If it comes to these things, and actually also tastes good at the same time. Listen, it's a win in my book. You have a gun, just shoot wild birds and eat them? Yeah, that's... I'm sorry, I don't have a rifle. My dad has a rifle I could probably use. But I could go full I can go full Inwa and get my lockout and shoot from the side. Blood pudding? Yes, just for you, Mythos. Your mic volume took a dip when battling the beetles? Well, that's because I had to listen. I had to step away for a minute and flick it into the wall. I need to flick it harder apparently because oh, there I see it. I see it in the distance. I don't know how this thing's still alive. I need to flick it harder because I really like to do, because I'm a little bit of a sadist, is I try to flick it as hard as possible so that when it hits the wall, hopefully it gets brain damage and dies immediately. But for some reason, this little Enwa is not dying. No matter how many times I flick it into the wall. Flick it harder. I don't actually want to touch it. I don't want to smash it because it's actually a legit stink bug. But I'm watching it right now. And I'm waiting for it. And I will kill it with brain damage. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting way too distracted by a simple stink bug, okay? I'm going to war with not Iran, but with stink bugs, okay? Like, come on. What was this? Oh, okay. I was like, what was this other tab? I had a second tab about this, and I just kind of forgot. There are some people saying that this one's fake now. Because of the new edit without the express written approval of parents being mentioned here. But no, it's not fake. This actually was the case. It just got edited. Don't know which one's real or which not anymore. However, I'm a little bit concerned. Thank you, X, for reloading. I'm a little bit concerned because there's a clip of Trump where he actually talks about this. Now, I hope, like, from Blue, I don't think this is AI, okay? I don't think this is AI. I listened to it before stream. So, well, let's hear from the horse's mouth. If it loads.
Look, this is a party, the Republican Party, of common sense. Forget about conservative, liberal. We're, let's say conservative, but we're really a party of, we need borders, we need fair elections, we don't want men playing in women's sports, we don't want transgender operations without parental consent. Look.
All that stuff is basically what he said on Truth Social, including the whole no transgender operations without parental consent. So, I'm a bit concerned. I am a bit concerned because if we're going to be adding this extra stuff in the end, it needs to be this version of it, not with the written approval parents. It needs to be full stop. But they shouldn't be adding this at all because it makes it harder for it to pass. But still, oh, back. Hold on. If I flick it the wrong way, it's going to be hitting my monitor, and I don't want it to hit my monitor. I want to hit the wall so I can give it max brain damage. Okay, come on, move. Come on, I believe in you. I have a little flicky flick to give you. I'll give you the ride of your fucking life, little stink bug, if you just want to die today, because, I mean, spiritually Indian, aren't you? Off did you go, you little bastard? God damn it, I lost it. Never mind. ASMR flicking. That wasn't what I was fine today, but apparently that's what I am. I'm looking at HR 22. Wait, what? Did I miss something? I can't find the bill includes the transgender stuff. Okay, let me do my own independent research, like the strong independent woman that I am. Here, because when I looked at it, Save America. Oh, the same bug is back. I see it again. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna kill it. I send it to the moon. I hope it's dead by now. Okay. ADHD hours. My apologies. You came here for some hard news about whatever Trump's doing the past couple days? No, yeah, you got the war with the stink bugs. I didn't make the rules. You're welcome for this. Okay. Let's see here. What is this? Bill requires individuals to documentary proof, U.S. citizen, when register the vote, blah, 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 blah. Prohibits, yep. This is what I read last. State must take affirmative steps with bill. The states must remove nonsense from the official list of eligible voters. Is photo documentation, ballot, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this is basically what I read last time. The summary. Related bills here. Read twice and refer to committee and rules of administration. Identical bill? What's the identical bill here? Citizenship, safeguard American voter eligibility. That's what saved me. I knew it had something to do with voting. Okay, this is literally the same fucking. Where does the tranny shit gets added in here? Does it make sense with this post? Why are you conflating? Alright, I'm trying to... Let's see. X? Oh, that's all the jargon. I was hoping to avoid the jargon. Because I am too retarded for this. It makes my brain hurt. Okay, hold on. Control F. Trans. Might be helpful if I spell trans correctly. Transgender. Men. Women. Sports. Okay. Real investigative journalism hours right now. Get AI to summarize? Yeah, I don't... That's the part. I don't understand. Why is he talking about this stuff on True Social if it's not actually on the bill itself? This feels counterintuitive here. Because he's pissing off his base with the first version of it. They rectified it. But now nobody knows what's going on anymore. It's just... things just aren't adding up here. In my personal opinion. I think. White House Gov. Not exactly the bill itself, but... Grok maker bald, no! I'm gonna become bald at the rate I'm going. It might be helpful if you load. Oh. The act itself, because politics is not real and lame and gay. True enough. I think Trump might be conflating things. Unless he's... Okay, here we go. Real coping hours right now here. What if, hypothetically here, that he's talking about the Save America Act. Yes. But with Saving America, he also thinks no men and women sports and no transgender mutilation surgery. Which that would work with this clip too, because he's talking about like what he thinks is huge cultural impacts. So voting's not exactly cultural impact too much. That's actually legal. That's a federal level type of stuff. That's beyond culture right there. That's my guess then. That's the only thing that really makes sense in this case. So what's the point in adding these things? It makes it harder to pass. You pissed off your base with adding a little bit without the express written approval of the parents that you had to fix it. Nobody knows what's going on. Like, we just need to get through the Senate. What the fuck's going on with this bill? Unless it's just him being like, just being Trump and then shooting, just shooting off the hip like he normally does. That's gonna be my guess there. There we go. I'm gonna be leaving it at that. Well, why are you trusting that post was real to begin with? Because it very much was real. Very much was real. Okay. Why is everything reloading here? So this is not actually Trump, but it is the White House. P.E.P.E came out yesterday, which was a new Pokemon game released by Nintendo. And it's a meme to take the logo of it and replace it with different wording. I'm too much of a boomer to understand it personally, but the White House did that with Make America Great Again. Which is like, okay. It'd be nice if America looked like this. We actually have some rural towns once again with some grass, no more Indians, no more trannies. We just have nature and people and farms and their little wildlife animals. This would be nice, make America great again. Problem is, Nintendo's not exactly happy with that. Which I'm not surprised. As soon as I saw that, I was like, yep, Pokemon's gonna be making a statement here. Pokemon Company International on Thursday pushed back against the White House repeated use of its intellectual property after the administration published a Make America Great Again meme on social media that used an image from the latest game with recognizable characters like Pikachu and Magikarp. We're aware of the recent social content that includes imagery associated with our brand. The Vaunthy Dev. Now chat. I don't think Cervanthi Dev is a very Japanese name. Or even white name in general. It's Pokemon Company International. But I don't think it's a very, Japanese or a white American name at all. Cervanthi. Okay, they're taking over every single tech company. I kid you fucking not. Every single tech company is being overrun by goddamn Jeets. Like, we have Nintendo now, Microsoft, Google, YouTube, which is connected to Google. Capital One's been having controversy I've been seeing. Or apparently they're discriminating against white guys and because they're being filled with staff with Indians as well. Like, just everything is every single tech sector has been completely overrun by Jeets now because all they do is hire their own. As soon as you get one in, they will just keep on adding more and more and more until they completely overrun it. Like the fucking pest. They themselves are literally the stink bug. They come in and they never fucking leave. Like, just and even Nintendo, or in this case, Pokemon Company International, because they're technically two different things, but they are kind of related, are just being overrun by them, and it's fantastic. Sir Vaunthy Dev, a company spokeswoman, said in a statement, and she's also a woman. Oh god. Indian and a woman. How much more IQ points can you lose in that point? And no permission was granted for the use of our intellectual property. Our mission is to bring the world together, and that mission is not affiliated with any political viewpoint or agenda. So, like, I could maybe see the intellectual property there, seeing that they're using literally the day that the game was launched, using the fonts, using the logo here, using the Pokemon in the background. The classic Pikachu right over there, that kind of deal. Right? I can maybe see that because it's the White House. Versus like a random person on the internet. Like the random person on the internet creating memes, they can't really do anything about because they're, individuals in that case, and it's the internet. But for the actual White House themselves, is more of an institution, they can kind of go after in that case. Now, I'm not a lawyer, I don't speak legalese. So I'm not exactly sure what stance is there, and we all know that Nintendo is very lawsuit happy, but I could maybe see something. The real cherry on top, though, is that the mission is not affiliated with any political viewpoint or agenda. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. And back in 2020, in the year of the Lord of George Floyd, they said hashtag Black Lives Matter here at the Pokemon Company International. So same thing, Pokemon Company International here, not Pokemon Company Japan or anything like that. We believe in friendship, inclusivity, and equity. These are the values that anchor the Pokemon brand. There is no place for oppression within our community. We stand in solidarity with our Black, capital B, employees, fans, and families who will continue to be impacted by systemic racism and senseless violence. We'll be making a $100,000 donation to the NAACP and a $100,000 donation to Black Lives Matter. Our commitment is to use ongoing, and our support will be as well. We believe that Black Lives Matter. Pokemon. Congratulations, chat. So those 3 really fat black women that lived in these massive mansions that were, controlling Black Lives Matter, and turned out they swindled everyone's money and didn't actually do anything that the only black lives that they improved were their own. Yeah, Pokemon Company at least helped them with $100,000 of that. Back in the day. Fun fact. Now, of course, that money is gone, but, it's a drop in the ocean for the Pokemon Company, but still. they can maybe be like, oh, but that was back in 2020. Times were different. You know, everyone says stuff about, you know, Black Lives Matter and George Floyd because, you know, that's just a time period that was happening. This fun fact, chat. It was 6 years ago. I hate to break it to you, chat. But that was 6 years ago that Black Lives Matter burned down all the cities. And the government shut down. And we ruined our economy. For a fucking flu. Yeah. Yeah, it's not great. Yeah, it's not great at all. The fact that it's been like that long, and I'm glad that nobody's forgetting it. At least no one, okay, gets, because the average voter like has a memory of like 6 months, roughly, give or take. So the fact that it's been 6 years and a lot of people still bring a lot of the stuff up is a good sign, because that way we don't actually forget what happened during that time period. But it is slowly but surely getting, people are forgetting. They're already trying to rewrite history and say a lot of the stuff didn't actually happen. It's a bit rich that the Pokemon Company was like, yeah, we're not affiliated with any political viewpoint or agenda. Here we go, Black Lives Matter 6 years ago. Yeah, good luck with that. It's only because it's Trump, more than likely. If this was Biden in office, or I should say Kamala, I doubt they would be anywhere. They wouldn't be doing this shit. They'll probably be helping promote Kamala's campaign or whatever the case is instead. And yeah, it's Pokemon Company International. What do you expect? But still, nonetheless, they're representing Pokemon on the international level, which includes, you know, the Western world. Goes beyond Japan. I know Game Freak's the one that actually makes the games, and Nintendo's the ones that like license the stuff all out, but nevertheless, it still counts, because Pokemon is the biggest franchise of all time. It has been that way for a very long time, and they're not going away no matter how shit their games are. Apparently, P.E.P.E is actually really good. Like they said, it's like the best Pokemon game's been released in years. I personally have no interest in it because I hate the art style, and I'm a huge stickler for art style, personally myself. And I hate how the characters look. I get it's supposed to be a Ditto, but I don't care. I hate how it looks. So, I don't have any interest in it. And until Wind and Waves comes out, then I'll buy the Slappa once again, because I'm just going cattle, okay? Sorry. But still, it's just, I hate this so much. International, ran by Cervanti, the Dominions, Black Lives Matter. Oh, but we're not political. Get the fuck out of here. And then, going back to Trump actually himself, wait. Yeah, that works. I was like, did I have this tab out of order? Anyway, he fired Kristi Noem. Which is kind of surprising to me, I'll be completely honest. Like, I don't like any woman in, like, politics, especially at high levels at them. And all the women he's ever hired has been a complete disaster. I figured Pam Bondi would be the first one to go. Like, I mean, okay, I say I figured, but because she's so strong on anti-Semitism, that's literally her job. Doesn't matter if she watched the Epstein files. Doesn't matter that she's constantly on Fox News instead of the office and doing her job. Doesn't matter that she's a blonde fucking bimbo or anything like that. Because she's so... and the fucking, that congressional trial that she did a few weeks ago. Where the Dow... The Dow's why we can't have the Epstein's files. Ugh. No matter how much of a disaster it is, because she's so staunch on trying to expand anti-Semitism, I think that's the real reason why she's actually in office, frankly. But that's my game theory. That's my game theory at the end of the day. But she's an absolute fucking disaster, so I thought, okay, maybe Pam Bondi. I mean, no, Kristi Noem. Kristi Noem's the first one to go. Not even Kash Patel, right? Not even Kash Patel. The Indian who has done jack shit with the FBI. We know nothing about everything that's ever happened ever for the past couple years now. Know nothing about the assassin that tried almost got Trump and hit him in the ear during the election season. Like we know nothing about any like these transgender shooters that have been popping up like weeds every couple months. We know nothing about anything that's happening. We do know that Cash Patel likes to party with hockey with the Olympic hockey team. Yeah. Okay. Once again, Indians literally everywhere. They're like AIDS. But no, Christine Nolm was the first one to go, which to be fair, I don't really like her either. But out of all of them, she was like the least offensive to me. Like, I don't know. Like, I just maybe I wasn't paying enough attention to different things, but she didn't really seem like she was like as abysmal as Pam Bondi or Cash Patel. This was just another bimbo in the office that wasn't doing much really. Also, let me blow my nose. Give me a second. I am pleased to announce that the highly respected United States Senator from great state of Oklahoma, Mark Wayne Mullen, will become the United States Secretary of Homeland Security, DHS, effective March 31st, 2026. The current Secretary, Kristi Noem, who has served us well and has numerous spectacular results, especially on the border, will be moved the Special Envoy for the Shield of Americas, our new security initiative in the Western Hemisphere we are announcing on Saturday in Doral, Florida. I thank Kristi for her service at Homeland. Serving 10 years in the United States House of Representatives and 3 in the Senate, Mark Wayne has done a tremendous job representing the wonderful people of Oklahoma, where I won 77 out of 77 counties in 2016, 2020, and in 2024. A MAGA warrior and former undefeated professional MMA fighter, Mark Wayne truly gets along well with people and knows the wisdom and courage required to advance our America First agenda. As the only Native American in the Senate, why does it matter that he's Native American? Hold on, wait a second. As the only Native American in the Senate, Mark Wayne's a fantastic advocate for our incredible tribal communities. Okay, somehow that sentence got worse. Okay, hold on, full stop. One, this guy looks white as fuck. So, we're gonna have like a Pocahontas style where he claims he's Native American. Two, even if that's the case, I don't really fucking care. I just want him to be good at the job. Like, Native Americans are savages, in my book, but they're the least offensive of all of them. Our multicultural society here. Like, okay, we didn't conquer properly. Like, we should have either just wiped them out or forced them to assimilate by gunpoint. We should not have given them reservations because that's been a complete disaster. Most of them are welfare leeches, and they just drink and gamble, and don't actually integrate with society at all. Like, we did not assimilate them properly, nor did we actually conquer them properly, so now they're just fucking sit there and rot from our taxes. Now, they mostly just keep to themselves. They're better than blacks that destroy things. They're better than Indians that usurp things. And they're better than Mexicans who also destroy and usurp things. In that case. But nevertheless, I don't like, it's... Why? I don't care about the tribal communities. They're so far and few between, and they're such a drain upon society as well. I should say such a drain. They're like I said, they're a small problem out of all the different groups that we have in the United States. But like, still, I don't want to advocate for our tribal communities. Sorry, I'm banging the table now. I don't want to advocate for tribal communities. I don't care about the tribal communities. I want to advocate for actual real Americans. You know, the ones that actually came here and conquered and built the land because the savages weren't doing anything with it. Like, that's what I want. I don't care about the fucking Native Americans. This one with the feathers, not the dots. Like, I just And the one I know the narratives are like actually not that bad. They're relatively nice, docile these days, keep to themselves. Like no, like they're not the worst, but still allowing them to have little mini governments within the country is a problem on my book. There's still huge welfare sponges right there. It just annoys me. Okay, it's once again, least of the problems that exist currently, but a problem nonetheless. Because our fucking liberal ideas stopped us from actually handling them properly. We've either wiped them out, or we should have assimilated them by gunpoint. One or the other. That's how a proper, actual country works. Anyway. Mark Wayne will work tirelessly to keep our borders secure, stop migrant crime, murderers, and other criminals from illegally entering our country, and the scourge of illegal drugs, and make America safe again. Mark Wayne will make a spectacular Secretary of Homeland Security. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So, I don't really know much about this dude. He just kind of literally appeared out of nowhere, other than he's Native American. Supposedly that, he, supported Ashley Babbitt's death. Which is not great, I would say, but also not the end of the world. I've been hearing some people say that he's going to be just as bad as Kristi Noem. Or I say bad, but basically the same level as her. Like, it's not gonna really, like, change anything. The funny thing about this, though, is actually why Kristi Noem got actually kicked out. And given this, I would call it a fake job. Special envoy for the Shield of the Americas. It's definitely interesting. So first off, why she got kicked in the first place. Trump's pink slip post replacing Kristi Noem as DHS chief. Mark Wayne Mullen will become the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. President Donald Trump fired Homeland Security Kristi Noem Thursday after she found herself at the center of multiple scandals. I am pleased to announce. Okay, this is just repeating his Trump's Truth Social post. Noem thanked Trump on a post on X, saying that Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Secretary of War Pete Hegseth are incredible leaders, and that she looks forward to working with them closely to dismantle the cartels that have poured drugs into our nation and killed our children and grandchildren. It comes after a heated Senate hearing in which Noem blamed Trump for approving questionable contracts worth over $200 million for deportation ads, which raised concern about potential conflicts of interest. Trump himself told Reuters they had no knowledge about the expensive contracts. Noem testified that the contracts went out to a competitive bid, and career officials at the department chose who would do these advertising commercials. The contracts were awarded using other than full and open competition, according to records obtained by the Daily Wire. Department of Homeland Security, DHS, Office of Procurement Operations, OPO, on behalf of the office at DHS Public Affairs Office, intends to limit competition to 3 contractors. A justification for the decision said. A competition waiver stated that the department used internet research and industry publications to identify Safe America Media LLC as a primary company capable of taking on the ad campaign. Safe America Media was only incorporated days before. The strategy group said Tuesday it has never contracted with the DHS, adding that we had subcontract with Safe America for limited production services. Safe America paid us $226,137.17 for 5 film shoots, 45 produced video advertisements, and 6 produced radio advertisements, the company said. If you're going to try to question our integrity, bring actual evidence. We did, the statement concluded. Trump announced that Oklahoma Republican Senator Mark Wayne Mullen will replace Noem. So, basically, it seems like they're saying that she stole money. For what's happening here. More or less. And she's blaming Trump instead of taking accountability, saying that he actually approved it when apparently he didn't. Which is not exactly a good look for her, because you should not exactly blame your boss if you want to keep your job in this case. Though, I mean, it's definitely technically possible he could have approved it, because he probably gets like a million different papers on his desk every single day. And at a certain point, like a lot of times he doesn't actually read this stuff. He said like he literally is handed this being like, okay, this is what it is. Sign here, right? That's what they did for the executive orders when they when he got into office last year. They recorded that, and literally that was the case. They would hand him a little piece of paper and a little folder, being like, okay, this is about stopping DEI within the workplace. Okay, sign here. Okay, signs away. Move on to the next one. So it's possible it was kind of like one of those. But the fact that this Safe America Media was incorporated just days before of taking on the ad campaign, and they spent that much money on over $200,000 on 5 film shoots, and 45 produced video advertisements and 6 produced radio advertisements as well, is a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Million. Sorry, contracts over 200 million. Wait, that's not a million. Okay, I'm getting my numbers confused. I'm sorry, I'm retarded. But still, over 200 million for deportation in general. That's a lot of money. Now this is just going over the Mullen stuff that we've read already from your social post. Mullen called the announcement humbling, adding that it happened quick. He said he learned of Trump's decision right before the True Social post. Yes, that's literally the fucking case where on Fox fucking News they hounded him. He had like 30 seconds to fucking be like, okay, apparently I got the job.
Were you surprised, Senator?
The phone call I got from the president was right before the statement went out.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so a little more clarity there on when he found out. He says he got the call from the president right before the Truth Social post went out. So that gave him about 30 seconds, I would think, Molly, to kind of process all of this. And, it's the sort of thing where President Trump obviously is very close to Mullen. He probably mentioned it to him a couple of times.
I like how the Fox News reporter is justifying this. I mean, I would try to justify this too, but it's not exactly a good look when he's just like, yeah, I literally learned about this right before the True Social post came out. Like, just no knowledge beforehand, no nothing. Just like, yep, okay, congratulations, you're now the new DHS secretary. Like, you got the job. Oh, do I have a say in this? No. Oh, okay.
But I know that when the president asks you to do something and you're a loyal member of the party, you just drop everything and say yes.
Were you surprised?
Yeah, I mean, which is probably actually what has happened. Like, I'll give the Fox News reporter credit. More than likely, they probably did talk about it before, briefly in passing. I would fucking hope, right? And then, but they finally get the confirmation right before the post, and you're like, okay, yep, I got the job, but still not. But good look. Who knows? Maybe he'll get fired within the next week too, because he makes Trump look bad by doing that. But it's like, and supports were some people were reporting saying that she was actually in the middle of a speech, right when the announcement came in, and so like she didn't actually know it happened because she was in the middle of the speech. I don't think that's actually the case. That's why I don't have any clips of that personally myself, because it doesn't really like add up. Why would you do that to her live on air when she's talking about whatever Homeland Security stuff that she was focused on at the time? Like, that just seems like it embarrasses her, and it makes it look like no one's on the same page. We already got Mark Mullen over here being like, yeah, I learned 30 seconds before the True Social post came out. Like, it just looks like a complete fucking mess, especially with the Iran war going on too, and how much of a disaster that's been. Like, it's not exactly a good look for her. Though for the ad in question, that some people are saying that this is the ad campaign that costs more than 200 million. Based off reading this article, it doesn't seem like this ad itself is 200 million. Based off reading this report, it's just multiple different. It's just questionable contracts worth over 200 million for deportation ads, plus the stuff about like the Safe America thing being suspicious with a $226,000 for 5 film shoots and different things like that. It seems like there's a lot of questionable money being passed around, but this is one of the ads. One of the ads that was spent at least a good chunk of change on. Keep in mind too that for some reason, uh, let me see here. That's the wrong tab. For some reason, Trump's wife, Melania, uh, made a movie. I don't know why. Who fucking saw that movie? He was actually interested in a girl boss movie over Trump's wife. Nobody cares about her. Only people care about Trump. Anyway, that movie was roughly about 40 million in comparison. Does it have copyrighted music? I should probably have checked this.
Open spaces? They remind me of why our forefathers came here. Not just for its beauty, but for the freedom only America provides. I'm Christy Nome. From the cowboys who tamed the West, to the titans who built our cities, to the dreamers who chased the impossible, America has always rewarded vision and grit. Our greatness calls people to us for a chance to prosper, to live how they choose, to become part of something special. Anyone who searches for freedom can always find a home here, but that freedom's a precious thing, and we defend it vigorously.
Yeah, okay, I was gonna say, it's actually not a bad ad so far. It definitely looks cool, and I wish I was the one riding on the horse and Mount Rushmore. But, not anyone can find freedom here. I'm sorry, this is only for white Americans and white Americans only. I was like, yeah, it's actually not a bad ad so far. Oh, no, fuck off.
You cross the border illegally, we'll find you. Break our laws, we'll punish you. Harm American citizens, there will be consequences. But if you come here the right way, your American dream can be as big as these endless skies. From President Trump and me, welcome home.
Yeah, no, I still don't want the legals here. I still want them gone. But fine, I get the point. I get the point here. You know, illegal's bad, which I mean, they are bad, but still. Ugh. It's just an ad. It appeals to the boomers. It looks cool. I wish I was the one riding the horse in Mount Rushmore myself. You know, but I could definitely see where this would be a bit expensive. You got a whole fucking crew in the wilderness of Mount Rushmore, you know, getting the horse, riding in the plains with the buffalo. Unless that's like green screened, that's actually a little bit dangerous. And not to mention, you have not only do you have to pay for the filming of it, you have to pay for the rights and then the actual having the ads on the different channels and TV programs in general, and then how many times you have the ad play. That also costs a bit too. The fact it's the government, so I'm sure that the media companies are charging a bit more. But yeah, it looks like there might have been a little bit of sussy-wussy money laundering going on here, and overall. Now, frankly, okay, hot take here, hot take. I don't really think the money laundering is the worst thing. Okay, now it's bad, don't get me wrong. But it's the government. The government's immensely corrupt, okay? Like, people have affairs all the time. And the money laundering happens all the time. Like, the white-collar crimes that they commit is immense. I care more about competence. So they're cheating on their wife, I don't fucking care. If they're adding a little bit more cash into their pocket, makes me very upset because my tax dollars, but it's to be expected. They're politicians. I mean, they fucking voted in Congress to increase their own wages themselves. Like, it's a very corrupt institution. But if they're doing their jobs and actually doing it well, and if Kristi Noem's actually deporting people effectively, then I don't really care if she spent $200 million on ad campaigns. I once again think Pam Bondi should be the one the first to be thrown out. Or Kash Patel. Either or. I don't care. Jeet or dumb woman. One or the other. Granted, Kristi Noem's also a dumb woman too. But seem to be slightly less dumb than Pam Bondi. Out of, like, let's say the three of them. In my personal opinion. This just seems like something to kind of, like, stick on her. just to justify her going. That's what it seems to be in my case. Like, they always use these white-collar crimes to not completely mar them, because she is going to this special envoy for the Shield of America's thingy. So she's still technically within the government. She's just being relocated, aka, which is what the nice thing of being foreign. So she doesn't actually lose the job, but she's being moved elsewhere to be less of a hassle for whatever she's doing. In that case. Let's see, the 220 million spent on an ad featuring her old ass riding a horse. Once again, based off the article, the Daily Wire, it sounds like not actually one specific ad. Oh, that was spent for 220 million. Seems like we're getting some conflicting information here. Regardless, it's a lot of money for ads in general. The ghost company is registered to Michael McElwain's house, by the way. Former director of NRCC. GOP's top priorities today are Israel, Wall Street, and crypto schemes. Well, I would agree with Israel, that's for sure, and Wall Street. But we're gonna have to take this with a bit of a grain of salt. I'm not sure if this is the same, Safe or Save America Media, whatever the fuck they're called. Safe America. Together. There's just a whole bunch of, like, different information being passed around about this whole situation thing, because nobody knows actually why she is getting fired, since she's supposed to be being relocated for this. Which, what we know about Noam's new Shield of the Americas role. Sort of kind of fake job. President Trump said Thursday that Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem would leave her role and be appointed as a special envoy of the Shield of Americas, bringing her tumultuous tenure atop the DHS to an end. Noem faces scrutiny and intense questioning about the fatal shooting deaths of 2 American citizens by federal immigration authorities in Minnesota earlier this year. More recently, she has met with skepticism at the Senate hearing from Senator John Kennedy, Republican Louisiana, who argued that more than 200 million ad campaign she oversaw and appeared in for DHS was probably effective in your name recognition. You know, I would actually kind of agree with the name recognition thing. Now, this article is from The Hill, so obviously it's going to be more left-wing bias. I could definitely see where the Trump administration might be also pinning the blame for Renee Good and Alex Preddy on her, just to have some sort of scapegoat instead of for the what happened in Minnesota. I could see that as being a possibility as well, even though their deaths were justified. In the case of Alex Preddy, it's definitely a little bit more murky, and it's unfortunate. Especially compared to Renee Good. Renee Good's a very cut and dry case, but Alex Preddy is a little bit more murky, but nonetheless, he still died. And it's not the officer's complete fault in that case. But regardless, it's not exactly a good look for what actually happened in Minnesota. So if she's the fall guy for this, that also kind of makes sense. Even though I personally disagree with it myself. Trump's Thursday announcement of her removal also comes as the country faces partial government shutdown due to lawmakers' refusal to fund the department until agencies including Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and U.S. Border Control get overhauled. While the soon-to-be former secretary would no longer head up immigration and a national security agency under DHS, her work for Shield of Americas will hit on similar topics, including immigrants in the country illegally, transnational trafficking, and border crossings. Here's what we know about the role. What is the Shield of Americas? A regional coalition of countries in Latin America will work together on ideology and policy initiatives that will help secure the Western Hemisphere, according to the White House. The Shield of Americas will be guided in part by the president's foreign policy initiatives dubbed the Donroe Doctrine, fashioned after the Monroe Doctrine. The administration has described the doctrine as enlisting established friends in the Western Hemisphere to pursue U.S. aims and expanding ties by cultivating and strengthening new partners. Since Trump returned to the office last year, he directed the renaming of Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, announced plans to take back the Panama Canal, and push efforts to acquire Greenland and make Canada the 51st state. A summit making the Shield of America official is set to take place this week in Miami, and may largely focus on counterterrorism measures in the region as a group of Latin American leaders assemble American soil. So this is not exactly a fake job, but it's not exactly, I don't know, it feels, it's because of the fact that Trump has been, ever since he got into office, talking about Greenland, Panama Canal, joking about making Canada the 51st state. You know, they did say with the whole Venezuela situation that they're going to reinstate the Monroe Doctrine. It kind of actually makes sense to have a greater role. So that, well, in this case, the Monroe Doctrine, you know, Donald Trump Doctrine, can be instigated and put in place. So it makes sense. However, this whole thing just seems weird still. Randomly throwing her out like this. Weird pinning on the fact that she sort of kind of swindled some money. Bill Wayne, whatever the fuck his name was Mark Wayne Mullen being informed literally a minute before the Truth Social post came out. No one's really on the same page, it seems. And with that, like, especially with the Iran war going on and the huge PR disaster that has been, just I like, this is just a weird timing overall. I know the administration can do two things at once. It's just, I don't know. It's funny. It's just weird. What countries would Nome work with in this new role? Nome will work with foreign leaders in both North and South America. The Trump administration has maintained a heavy interest in connecting with Latin American leaders to combat human smuggling, drug trafficking, and undocumented immigration. 13 heads of Latin American countries are expected to be present at the Miami summit this weekend. Some notable names, according to the White House, include Argentine President Javier Milei, Chilean President-elect Jose Antonio Cast, Salvadorian President Nayib Bukele Ortiz, and Honduran President Nasri Tito Asfura. So I've heard definitely good things about Milei, and definitely Bukele. So that gives me some faith that this is actually going to be good. Mixed stuff on Chile, and I don't know anything about the Honduras president. So this might be relatively okay if we can actually get like the quote unquote good South American countries together. You know, I say good in quotes because they're still the Kalergi plan in real life. Like, it's a fucking hot mess down there, and I still don't want them in my fucking country. But we can actually work with them and not have them bring in drugs and children and just, you know, themselves into my country. I'd be pretty happy about that. When will Nome officially become the special envoy for the Shield of Americas? Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, Republican Oklahoma, is expected to succeed Nome as the DHS secretary on March 31st, but will need to be confirmed by the Senate. It's unclear what the date Nome would depart her role as secretary. However, the president said additional details will be revealed at the main summit Saturday. I would assume that it's on March 31st as well. Like, he comes, like, they need to fill the role immediately. So he comes in, like, she leaves the 31st, he comes in the 31st, that kind of deal. Like, they shake hands and they walk their own way. She goes down the hall to the right to her new office. The White House said Nome's past experiences will be used in her new role to ensure American preeminence in the entire Western Hemisphere. Nome wrote on social media that she looks forward to working in the role, but did not address her removal while speaking in Nashville, Tennessee, at Major Cities Conference earlier Thursday. Thank you, POTUS, Trump, for appointing me as special envoy. Okay, we read that in the last article. The U.S. Okay, yep. Mullen said he was informed that he'd be tapped into the lead DHS moments before the president formally announced the change on his Truth Social post. Senator Lindsey Graham, oh, my favorite senator, shared a Thursday statement commending the president on his decision to reassign Nome. Okay. If Lindsey Graham is happy that Nome is being reassigned, that's a kind of a bad thing, in my opinion. Like, I'm just saying that, like, if anything that he supports, I'm against, okay? I know it's not exactly a very smart position to have, But anything like, unless it's like actually legitimately amazingly good, if he supports something, I'm not going to be a fan of it. I appreciate the Secretary Gnome's service to our country. She will do a great job dealing with the drug cartels in her new role in the Special Envoy for the Shield of Americas. I know she will continue to contribute in the future. However, I think it was time for a change, Graham said in a statement. President Trump could not have chosen a better candidate to be Secretary of Department of Homeland Security than Senator Mark Wayne Mullen. Interesting, because the first half just sounded like a stereotypical statement where like, okay, wish you luck, best in your life, blah 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 blah. That kind of deal. But then, however, I think it's time for a change implies that he was not happy as with her being the DHS. Now, I don't really think women should be anywhere near high in politics, like as actual leaders and things like that. And include regular politics too. Yes, it's hypocritical of me, but okay, listen, a girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do, okay? I like, there's this meme where like the girl's just like, what's going on with X? And the guy replies back with, you don't need to worry, sweetheart. And then she's like, yay! Exclamation mark, heart. And I'm like, that's what women should do. Women shouldn't worry their heads about like little political realm. That's definitely the men's thing. And like, you know, Floyd Max in a night with Hello Kitty. I was definitely enjoyable with that. Just like, yeah, I don't have to worry about the war with Iran anymore. I don't have to worry about the other stupid stuff anymore. I can just play Hello Kitty and not have to worry about a single thing. And it's great. In that case. And that's what all women should be. They're only good for impregnating and cooking. And should be chained to the kitchen 24/7. Not in politics like this, especially not as DHS. However, the fact that Graham was just like, how I think it's time for a change. Okay, Graham. Well, what does she do? Now I'm starting to wonder, was she actually good at her job? Like, I don't think she was actually good at her job personally myself. I think she was like probably like mediocre to okay based off my observations. Much better than Pam Bondi or Kash Patel by a long shot. But if Graham's not a fan of her, that makes that makes me wonder. That, especially with her, you know, blaming Trump for the ads, which definitely sounds like a little bit like money laundering. Okay, that definitely sounds like a little bit of that. Not gonna lie. Oh no, maybe she was being a thorn in Trump's side. Let the men do the politics and the woman to Hello Kitty Island. Yes. Yes. That's not. If I ever run for president, which I never will. But if I were to run a president, I will make all women play Hello Kitty Island Adventure and not have to work jobs. They can just keep on playing that for the rest of their life. And Candy Crush. And get forcibly impregnated. And then the world would be so much better. So much better here. Thank you, Eldrick Saga, for the $2 videos. Thank you. Just testing. Well, no worries. Your test went through. I just was getting a little bit behind. Oh, that's a private message. Well, sorry for, ousting your privacy there for your testing. But yes, it does work. It does, in fact, work. But thank you regardless. I appreciate it. Sounds good. You have my vote. Thank you. I know. Hard policies. Immigration? Nah. Training kids? Nah. Actually giving white men jobs? Nah. No. Women just play Hello Kitty Island Adventure. This is real politics here. What's this one? Oh, is it still about Gnome again? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Trump loves hiring women. Oh, his biggest Achilles heel. Yeah, if he stopped hiring women and Jeets and other DI, he likes his own DI ones, right? Like Kash Patel, first Indian FBI director, or this Mark Wayne Mullen, the first Native American DHS. Like he likes using DI for his own purposes, and we got plenty of you know, bimbos in the office. One with too much plastic surgery, the one annoying. Just stop, Trump. Just actually get competent people. I think the only good woman in office is Tulsi Gabbard. And even then, I haven't heard anything that what she's done in a very long time. So I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, because usually all publicity is good publicity, even if it's bad, right? But in this case, with the Trump administration, especially the past few months, it really has been, okay, so it's constantly blackpilling. So, what's going on with her? Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break, and then I will be right back. Give me 1 second, chat. I'll see you in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Chat. Okay, so I was gonna do something. I was gonna react to the video next, but I refreshed my Twitter. Nintendo is suing the U.S. government. What? Hold on. What? United States Court of International Trade. The U.S. Department of Treasury, Scott Bessent. Oh, we the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem. Oh, well, she's still in the office, I guess. Let's see. Complaint. Plaintiff, Nintendo of America, Nintendo, buying through his attorneys, alleges in states as follows. 1. This action concerns defendants' initiation and administration of unlawful trade measures that have, to date, resulted in a collection of more than $200 billion in tariffs on imports in all countries. 2. This complaint focuses on defendants' unlawful imposition of tariffs, P.E.P.E. duties, founded on President Trump's executive orders invoking the International Emergency Economic Powers Act of 1977, 50 U.S.C. 1701, blah blah blah, to justify the same. Those executive orders as the executive orders include, and then cuts off here. So, this is very interesting, because when, I think it was like last week, my timeline might be a little bit fucked up, I'm sorry. But, like last week or something like that, Trump's executive orders on the tariffs was considered unlawful by Congress. And people were like, okay, well now this opens the United States up to be actually sued. And I was debating on the fact that it wouldn't actually happen. Because who in their right mind would sue the government? Well, I'm gonna have to take that L, I guess. Because, I forgot Nintendo existed. Like, I know they're very lawsuit happy. And so, like, I can't be that surprised that they're suing. But at the same time, like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, okay. I literally said, like, last week or whatever the case is, who in their right mind would actually sue the U.S. government over this tariff stuff? Because, like, because there's another way that Trump could use the tariffs instead. He's trying to do it under a different law as well. Like, he really wants to put these tariffs on there, and like all the money we got is going to be going out the window, and the debt's going to increase even more. Now we have to pay it back, and then we even have the money even more. And like, it's the U.S. government. Like, come on, we're the world police. What company is actually going to sue the world police, the one with the biggest stick? Nintendo. So retarded. This is so fucking retarded. This is just so fucking retarded, chat. Like, Nintendo, like, okay. I get that they claim that they raised their prices because of the tariffs, but like, you didn't have to charge $80 a game. Like, like, I know you're trying to recoup your money there, but wouldn't you by charging more money? But because of the tariffs is what you claimed. Which I don't fully believe that, to be honest. So, I think it's actually more inflation is a stronger argument than tariffs. But regardless, I thought you would have recouped your money by then. Or you're saying that, like, oh, you lost money because nobody bought your games because it was $10 more expensive. No, I just think people didn't have fucking games on the Switch 2. Like, I know now the Switch 2 is having games with the P.E.P.E. coming out yesterday. And then they announced Pokemon Wind and Waves. I would hope there's a new Zelda that comes out that's not Breath of the Wild 3.0. You know, like, I know it will eventually have games, but the Switch 2 launch was abysmal. Nobody really cared about Donkey Kong other than streamers. And then it's just we had upgrades for the previous Switch games like Breath of the Wild and other stuff as well. But like, we already have the original. You don't really need the upgrade. Like, it still functions. It still works. Like, the Switch 2 had a horrible fucking launch because there was no actual real games that people were interested in. That's on Nintendo's fault if they lost any money because of that. It was also during the same period of the tariffs. I can guarantee if they launched with a new mainline Zelda game, it would have done a lot better. Or a new mainline Pokemon game would have been a lot better. Something. Hell, even P.E.P.E. if they launched it last year, when the Switch 2 released, it would have done a lot better. But they didn't. They did with fucking Donkey Kong. Nobody gives a shit about Donkey Kong. Or Mario Kart 2, whatever version that they're on. Like, nobody cares about these games anymore. It just, this whole thing is so stupid. But it's Nintendo. Of course. My brain hurts. You aren't getting Pokemon Wind and Waves, lol. Okay, yeah. It looks really good. And it's tropical theme. And so it's right up my alley. I kind of want to play it. But after being burnt so bad in Pokemon ZA, and Scarlet and Violet being the fucking shit, and Sword and Shield being mediocre at best, I know now. I'll wait until it comes out. I'll see what people say about it. And then maybe I'll buy it if it's actually good. Or if the central leaks are correct, that it's based off ESG stuff. I I don't know if I'll buy it in that case, because the ESG stuff is really annoying. Really like the tropical theme. Okay. Oh. But we'll cross that bridge next year when it gets released, okay? For now, Nintendo's suing the US government. It was kind of the same with the Wii U. Did it feel like a new console? Really? Yes. It's the same situation. They basically replicated the Wii U, with their stupidity there. And it will go down just as well as the Wii U at the rate they're going. So, what time will actually tell? If having a mainline Pokemon game will probably help it out when it gets released, Wind and Waves. But then again, after Pokemon Z gained Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet, I mean, people are still gonna buy it, but they've been taking some hits. You would think after 2 games you would stop buying it, but I'm not gonna buy it right immediately. Like I said, I'll wait a little bit, and then maybe I'll buy it. I'll find out in 2027 whenever it releases. Okay, you know I have some standards, Okay, okay. I guess we're gonna have to wait and see how this goes, as this was just announced. Literally just fucking announced that Nintendo's suing the government. I'm curious if there's more details. If I maybe can find it and then... No, I don't... Wait. Why are we talking about H1Bs again? Did something else happen with H1? Oh, Microsoft fired more American workers. Wow, what a shock. Oh, what a shock. More, okay, we're getting replaced by more Indians here. Go. Okay, this is how real gamers get their news. Well, no, I don't think anyone's cheering about Nintendo taking legal action over this. This is fucking retarded. This is probably a leftist. Just a leftist talking. Okay, what does the website say? Do you have any extra information? What is this gay ass shit? Did I get... Okay, regular man. Did I get... I'm questionable how he swings. And fucking disgusting blob. Nintendo suing the US government over tariffs. Nintendo filed a lawsuit in the United States Court of International Trade. Nintendo suing the United States government over the sweeping tariffs President Trump put in here. The complaint filed Friday in the US Court of National Trade and after the Supreme Court has estimated the tariffs for the time being. The situation flux are coming good at the United States side. Okay, so it's just about the tariff stuff again. Largely targeted for refunds. Nintendo of America's lawsuits are largely targeting refunds of the previously imposed tariffs that the Supreme Court struck down. The Supreme Court found that Trump could not invoke the National Economic Power Act of 1977 to put tariffs in place. Okay, yep, so it was exactly what... Wow, you guys really are gay. Okay, well, let me grab a shoe. Give me a second. Okay, so Stinkbug's officially dead this time. 5 flicks didn't kill it, but a shoe did. So I've been trying really hard to basically eat my mic, since for some reason I've been really quiet the past few weeks, right? I turned up everything, but I'm like really putting effort to be really right into the mic like this, you know, that kind of deal. And I don't know how this sounds, so I'm really sorry in advance, or after the works, or whatever the case is. And I'm reading this, right? And I look in the corner of my eye, and the stink bug is right literally on the mic. Like, literally just... Like, centimeters away from my mouth. And this time, since I flipped it so far away, it's covered in cobwebs and shit, because I need to vacuum. In this case. Not only is the stink bug centimeters away from going into my mouth, but it's also covered in whatever crap it was in. So, yeah. Yeah, that was great. That was the worst. Like, at least when the stink bug scared me earlier, like, it was on my foot and it was weird, and like that just shocked me, right? I wasn't expecting it to be literally centimeters away from my mouth and heading into eating it. I don't want to actually literally eat the bugs, okay? I want to eat the stink bugs here. Like, oh my god. Jesus Christ. Thank you, Clarky, for the 500 warp tokens. That stink bug knows fear is an aphrodisiac, and after that ride he was promised earlier, he's eager for a multi-end stream early. Got the one wrong, by the way. I don't know what you mean by got the one wrong anyway, but yeah, I'm not, he didn't get a flick well, he got a flick off the microphone. And then I took him, then I went over with the shoe. I do not smell him. Might be a bit too far away, which I hope that's the case. I get the vacuum out later if I remember. Amal, that was your stink bug prince. You should have kissed it and made it into your husband. Please kill yourself, Delta Cross. In Pocopia. Amal, assuming it's just one stink bug. I'm pretty sure it's one stink bug, because like I said, like, it's only one, right? It's only one. It lasts a few days, eventually dies, and then a new one pops up the next day, like Phoenix. I don't know how that works. I don't know how that fucking works, but it does. I know it's the same one because when I flicked it earlier, I made it fly way off into the corner after hitting the wall a couple times. I was hoping it was dead after hitting the wall with its head a couple times. But no, alas. It was alive and wanted revenge and trying to get into literally my mouth. Like, chat. Okay, look at my model, right? Okay, let me get all nice and comfortable and up close to you guys. Okay. So, do you see the little star on my forehead here, or the top one, the very top one between the ears, right? Okay, and you see how there's little two stars on the other side of them, right? Okay, do you see how close they are together? Right? Yeah, so my mouth is the big star. The stink bug's the little star. That's how close they were. Yeah, I'm not happy. Stink bugs' lives matter. No, they do not. I want to genocide all the stink bugs. Might be a good idea to clean the place up soon. Listen, the stink bugs are eternal. I can't do anything about the stink bugs. They're permanent. Like I said, they've been invading my house for a straight year. No matter the season, no matter the fact it's been winter, okay? They should have all died. They've been invading this house like the cheats that they are. They're literally actual real Indians. I kid you not. But, yeah. Been dealing with them. And yes, I should vacuum just in general, but you know, that's work, that's effort, and I'm like, yeah. Maybe you should get a lizard as a pet so you can eat the bugs instead of you, Amal. Yeah. I bet the CIA engineers stink bugs too. No, the Chinese did instead. They're invasive from Asia. Yeah, so there's a difference. Move to this country without these stink bugs? I don't think that's gonna be happening. Seeing that they're invasive from Asia, but they probably already made it to Europe at this rate. Also, I like getting like really up close and uncomfortable. Like, I don't know why. You can see all the details of my model a lot better. It's a really good model. Okay. Enough of that. Enough of. Oh, but I like the head. I like the head. We don't have them in Scandinavia. Maybe it's actually legitimately too cold for you guys there. Yes, every detail, thanks. I think I know what you mean. I think I know what you mean. You want tummy. You want the tummy. Or actually, hold on. What you really want is feet. There you go. We want to know what these dogs doing down here. Yeah. Look at how the chains just jingle when I move. You know? Look at these tootsies. How they tap back and forth like that, like a little tap dancer. I am Shirley Temple, reborn. Okay, there we go. I know enough stupidity. Here we go. Here's a little thug shaker for you. Okay, moving on. It's nice to get a little bit silly. Why am I suggesting the feet? Because I know you like it. Including the smell. I see you, Delta Cross. I see you. Thank you, Eldritch Saga for the $2 but you have a private message, and this time I read the fact that it was private before I read it out. So therefore, I will not read it out on stream. Hell yeah. Okay, I did it right this time. I'm proud of myself. Thank you, Senior Elder, for the one warp token. Thank you. Were those scales? You may want to get that checked out. Yeah, I'm a dragon. Well, part dragon. So yeah, I have scales. I actually have them on my tail. To be more exact. So look at that. The underbelly of my tail has scales on it. I got claws too. Imagine your dick wrapped around these fingers. Like that'd be ripped to shreds. But I got little paw pads. So yeah, like little textures. In that case. So you might be a little bit bloody, but at least you got the texture. It's gonna be like it's like the African tribes and that add sand to women's vaginas to make them dry as fuck. So it has extra texture. Then they use the blood as the lube instead. Yeah. I was just worried you've been near Bill Gates, that's all. He's my cousin, so yeah, I've been around him a bit. Well, why would I want my dick twisted? I didn't know it wouldn't be twisting. That might be ripping it to shreds. I'm using little paw pads for extra texture. You know? It's fine. Fine. Yeah, you know. It's all good in the hood. I want to play Hello Kitty Adventure again. Okay, I need to refocus. I'm just all over the place today. I'm sorry, chat. There's not a single brain cell that exists in my head anymore. It's just exactly that. I'm all admits to transing all her boyfriends casually. Listen, why else do you think I'm here now? Someone pay up for the therapy sessions. No. Okay. 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 Where was I at? Just about going through the tariff stuff. Okay, they're just going through the tariff stuff, which I'm not surprised. Let's see, what time is it? There was a video I wanted to react to. I don't think we're gonna have time today. So let's do one more article. Let's do another article here, chat. Did you know did you know my fellow men, you know, my fellow homies in chat, that there's a surprising gender gap at the heart of America's baby bus? I would have never have guessed that. I would have never have figured that just maybe that there might be some problems with the dating scene, specifically for young men in particular. I just figured everything was fine and dandy. I mean, women can be, you know, fuck every man that she ever wants, and then, you know, and struggle to settle down when she hits past, you know, 30, and, you know, can be the girl boss that she is, and who cares about men's feelings? Nobody gives a shit about men. Men suck. Wow. Gen Z men want kids. Gen Z women have questions. Across party lines and demographic groups, young men are eager to be dads. And I'm eager to burp. Excuse me. That's the surprising conclusion that Anna North, my Vox colleague, uncovered when she dove into the data to find out young people's views about forming families. Birth rates have been in free fall, and talk of a demographic crisis has increasingly filled the discourse. And much of that commentary, the brunt of the blame has been directed at young people who purportedly aren't interested in settling down, but the truth, according to Anna, is more complex. I'm very curious to see how they spin this, because this is Vox, and Vox is actually pretty left-leaning. So far, it's actually coming off pretty straight across, relatively okay. Minus the fact that they're about 10 years a bit too late to the discussion, but you know, when it comes to women, you know, women most affected, it takes a while for the point to get across. In addition to Gen Z men expressing interest in procreating, we also found something else that was surprising. There's a real gender gap between young men and young women, with young women showing greater hesitation about the prospect of having kids. It's a fascinating divide that could be hugely consequential. So I asked Anna to come join me on the Friday edition of The Gray Area to explain what she found in her reporting. As always, there's much more on the Full podcast, which drops every Friday and Monday and Friday. Listen to it and follow us on Apple Pod. Okay, that's just an ad for their stuff. Listen, chat, you know what? If they're going to be advertising their podcast, you know what? I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday myself. Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 7:45 p.m. more specifically. Fridays are early at 2:30 p.m. You should come check it out if you're not already here, because you're a cool guy. Yeah, you are my top guy, more specifically, by being here live in chat when I stream and talk about ripping dicks off and the gender gaps and divides and Trump doing Trump things. Listen, yeah, you guys are cool guys. My gamer words. This interview has been edited for length and clarity. What were you looking for when you started reporting on this piece to how Gen Z men and women are thinking about parenthood and how differently they're thinking about it? I saw this as really interesting poll of young voters, Gen Z voters, and looked at male Trump voters, male Harris voters, female Trump voters, and female Harris voters and asked them to rank, what are the things you think that are important in a good life? Oh, I think I know what they're talking about here. The male Trump voters actually rated having children as number one among 12 or 13 different options. Nobody else had it up that high. Not any of the women, no matter how they voted. And not male Harris voters either. If you look across polls overwhelmingly, you see young men are more excited, more enthusiastic about having children one day than young women. And I could think of a lot of possible reasons why that might be, but I want to dig into a little bit. Okay, so before they dig into it, here's my hypothetical my hypothetical check. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm a vagina holder. Okay? So men have this biological need to procreate. One man can impregnate 6 women. One woman can only be impregnated by one man. And so men have naturally, biologically, have a desire to have kids to carry on their legacy. That's literally just wired into them. They want to have as many kids as possible generally. Overall. Now, obviously, in the modern age and evolution, some of that stuff has been tampered down a little bit, so you're not just some ravaging beasts wherever you see a woman in heat and just rape them. At least white men. We don't talk about Indians. But nevertheless, it's still a case where you just have the desire to actually have kids. On top of that, since it was focusing a lot more on Trump voters wanting kids, is that once again, as conservatives, they, even though it's conserving, and we can talk about how big the tent is when it comes to Trump and conservatism later. Regardless, the point is they care about the future. They don't focus on themselves. That they care about conserving culture and society, and to be able to do that means you actually have to have kids in the first place. Because who's gonna pass down that torch? Once again, goes back to the legacy aspect of things. You need to have kids to carry on society. You can't just, the buck can't stop with you. Your parents sacrificed a lot to have you and raise you. Your grandparents sacrificed a lot to have your parents. Your great-grandparents sacrificed a lot to have your great-grandparents. The entirety of human history has worked up to literally this exact point where you are alive. And the amount of people who died and have been sacrificed in the process has been immense. But for some reason, your ancestors have been the ones to survive. And it's your job and your duty to pass that forward and, create more civilization yourself with your own future kids. And that is an actual moral duty that a lot of people on the right believe in. Because not even beyond the moral duty aspect of things, it's literally just the right thing to do. Like, you're supposed to settle down and have kids. Get married young. And actually try to create something purposeful, because that's what's intentional. And then if you also add in the fact that a lot of male Trump voters are also religious, then you also add in the whole God, that's what they write in the Bible to do. From the religious aspect of things. So chat, as the resident female vagina holder here, am I wrong about any of that stuff for one of the reasons why you want to have kids? Thank goodness for the Amish. Honestly, yes, I would love to actually be Amish, but I also really like AC. I can't fucking stand the summer. And so, unironically, I think the only thing that keeps me tied to modern society is literally AC. You're proof of an unbroken line of people getting it. Don't be the loser who breaks the chain. Yes. Yes. Okay, so it doesn't seem like nobody's saying that I got it correct. I'm very, very sad. Basically, yeah, okay, there we go. YouTube delay saves the day. We have one person saying that I got it right. I'm proud. I'm happy. I did something. Oh. I have the numbers here. And I don't want to butcher it. This is from your piece on a 2023 P.E.P.E. poll. 57% of men between 18 and 34 said they want to have kids someday. Only 45% of women said that. A little surprising to me. Maybe it shouldn't be. I was kind of surprised by that. As you say, I thought it was a pretty big gap. Especially given that the narratives that I think we had heard about young Gen Z people generally over the last couple of years is this generation that doesn't want kids. Yeah, well, it's just the woman. This generation doesn't want to get married. This is a generation that is really worried about the future and feeling really alienated and doesn't want to take these steps forward toward a conventional family. And so I thought it was interesting that these high numbers of Gen Z men were saying, no, actually we do want kids. That's because nobody actually cares about men's issues. Oh my god, this is... I hate women. I hate women so much. These girls are sitting here chatting and being like, oh my god, men actually have concerns too? Like, men actually have wants and needs and desires? Like, what? Who would have guessed that? I thought they were just supposed to be slaves that work a job to pay for my nails. and my hair and get me little gifts whenever I want. I can't believe men actually want things from us as women. Wow, how retarded. I hate women are so self-absorbed. It's insane. And the sad thing is, it's not actually really their fault. I mean, well, if it is biologically their fault. But it's just because of feminism that brought this here. But it's just like, all it takes is 2 seconds of critical thinking. You can be like, oh yeah, by the way, men have needs too. If you dig back to the historical polling, it's a little wonky. There's some evidence that women without children for a long time have had a little bit of more trepidation. Ooh, trepidation, scary. Than men without children. And probably that's for reasons that make sense. They know that their careers could take a hit. They have all read those articles about the motherhood penalty. They know that they will probably have to give birth, which men don't have to do, and deal with physical recovery and deal with all the stereotyping and stigmatizing that comes with having a female body that becomes a mother in this world. Literally, all those quote-unquote problems they just listed out would not be problems if feminism doesn't exist. Like, women shouldn't be in the workplace. Women weren't in the workplace until relatively recently. Yes, they worked, but they weren't actually in the office or in the factories or doing other manual jobs or do daycare, whatever it is that they do these days. They stayed at home, they raised their kids, a lot of times they also homeschooled, or they took part of the community. They helped out in local stuff like the church, other community centers. They might have had some sort of like side gig where they sold hats, or sewed stuff, or baked goods and gave that way. Little things like that as a little bit of a side hustle, just because they know they had the time and they're already doing a lot of stuff anyways. And as the kids get older, then ideally their kids also had kids at a relatively young age, like in their early 20s, and so that they can pass down that information down to their kids for their grandkids' sakes, and then help also raise kids that way too. Help and that way that the parents can get a break, they have a date night, whatever the case is. And then they hone their craft, they get better at sewing, and they actually partake once again with the family community as they get older. As women age like milk. You only have like 15 years, give or take, of actual fertile window, and then after that you hit the wall. And you're not pretty anymore, or as pretty. You're not as fertile. But ideally you have developed skills throughout the past, let's say 30 years now, because you actually were trained properly, and you can still contribute to society by passing down your knowledge and partaking in it with your own special skills that only women have. Men aren't the ones sewing. Men aren't the ones baking. Men aren't the ones, handling the child rearing. Women actually have very important roles in society, and it's been cast aside, thrown out the window to become faux men instead. And so who cares about having a career? That's a man's job. Who cares about the article about motherhood penalty? Once again, that's a career aspect of things. Women shouldn't be having careers. Get that, go through, no, once again, stop that. They know they will have to probably give birth, which men don't have to do, and deal with physical recovery. Okay, once again, so if they don't have to worry about going back to work as soon as they pop out the baby, they can actually take the time to heal and recover. There's actually lots of natural ways to help with childbirth. And that a lot of women aren't doing anymore because they're significantly overweight and they eat very unhealthy, even if they aren't actually overweight, just because of how poison our food is. There's various things you can do that make things easier with the physical recovery once you actually have the kid. And nobody knows anymore because all this stuff is a lost art because once again, no one's having fucking kids and we're dying as a society. And the stereotyping and stigmatizing that comes with a female body because of a mother in this world. Okay, well, there's lots of men out there, and Kat can correct me if I'm wrong, because once again, you're the real men, not me. But from what I have heard, a lot of men actually find it sexy when women are pregnant, because that means it's their child being born. They like something about that. Once again, goes back to the biological drive of actually having a woman impregnated by you specifically gets them turned on, and it's like, yes, that's my child in her womb. Obviously, some assholes out there aren't like that, but most of them are nuns that think that way because they're nuns and they're very primitive, or random asshole white guys. But that's far and few between in those cases. Like, this is, and then as long as she's, once again, eats healthy and takes care of herself while she's pregnant, and continues to do so after pregnancy and actually breastfeeds, then she'll lose all that 20-30 pounds of baby weight that she gains, and then she'll go back to normal. Like, this is all lazy, stupid feminist bullshit that doesn't actually have to apply anymore. If women just got out of the workforce, out of Geo daycare, and went back into the home where they belong. So it's not weird that young women might have more anxieties. But I think that what was striking to me was the size of the gap, and really the size of enthusiasm among men of a generation that are expressing this pretty eventual social aspiration to have a family. Yes, because no matter how much you try to bioengineer desires out of humanity, they still have what's been programmed into them for literally thousands upon thousands of hundreds of thousands of years. Has always been the case. The only reason why it works with women is because you pump them with birth control and SSRIs, make them wear polyester and a whole bunch of other bullshit that weakens their fertility, and completely messes up their hormonal cycle. How do you explain their increased interest? Why are Gen Z men increasingly fired up about being a dad? What are they telling you? I think I got a certain sense of that where one of them just talked about his friends are male. I think this is something they're going to do one day. I think it's like a capstone, a really important part of life, and it's something they assume that they're going to do.
The Jews.
Yes, because it's literally it's what you're required to do as a human. Not even just a human, just nature, okay? Dogs breed with other dogs, and then have more dogs. Okay, the tigers and the Himalayas breed with other tigers and have more Himalayas. Not more Himalayas. Sorry, more tigers. Like, it's just naturally what the reproductive cycle of literally human nature is. It's just something that happens, and it's the correct thing to do. Only humans are the only animals disrupting the cycle and actually making it worse by a long shot. And congratulations! Now both women and men are more depressed than they've ever been. You know, are we happier now? Because I think not. What would you say that the primary reasons for reasons you get from women? Are you seeing the data from Gen Z women and why they're hesitant? Well, one expert explained to me, it's never been more costly for a woman to have a child. And that doesn't mean it's harder to ever be a mom. It means that many women, most women in the United States, probably have more options than they ever had. Women's salaries are still aren't at a parity with men's, but they're higher than they ever been. Are we really? We're really bringing up the age, we're really bringing up the wage gap in the year of our Lord 2026. Have you possibly ever considered that maybe women just don't go for jobs that are high paying because they're not interested in it? They're not interested in STEM and engineering and other stuff like that. If the most highest paying job they go for is nursing, and guess what nursing replicates? Being a parent, being a mom, where they actually go in and take care of people. Now, granted, a lot of these nurses are huge sluts and bitches at the same time, but nevertheless, the point still stands. It's a very maternal, feminine role. You never see male nurses, and if you do see a male nurse, you're probably gay. Because it's a very female role in that case, where you're actually taking care of somebody, which is what women are supposed to do. Other than that, women aren't interested in this stuff. They go work at be the checkout clerk at Walmart or the gas station, or work at fast food, or like sit in the office all day. They don't do it because they're not interested in this, in anything that actually requires physical work. They're not going to be the trash collectors, okay? They're not going to be the plumbers, and they're not going to be the STEM leaders either. It's just we're really bringing up the wage gap in the year of our Lord 2026. Nice. And like also the fact that it's more costly for a woman to have a child. Congratulations. If you don't have daycare and actually raise your own kid, that significantly reduces the cost for kids as well. Like, daycare is so expensive right now because the demand is so fucking high. Now, a lot of it is because of the foreigners we have here too. But regardless, the cost for daycare is so high because every woman has to be forced into Jew daycare themselves. They have to pass up their child to be raised by a different woman for their own job. And make this make sense, okay? You are, as a woman, you give your child to a different woman because you have to go to your job, but that woman is working at daycare for their job as well to make money to pay for the bills. So instead of, raising your own kid, you're having another strange woman raise your kid and getting paid for that versus taking care of your own kid and being paid to do something else. That doesn't make any logical sense when you actually think about it. And once again, daycare is so expensive that it pretty much just takes the woman's paycheck because once again, women don't go for high-paying jobs because they're just not interested in that stuff. So it's much cheaper if you just raise your own fucking kid and then have some sort of like side hustle when they reach a certain age. Once again, let's just once again, all these problems are because of feminism. Women's educational attachment is women's educational attainment is really high. There's a sense that there's an increasing social sense that women can live a full life without becoming mothers, and that's fine. And there's a lot more acceptance for it. Whereas women used to just really not have that many options for their lives, now they have lots. And you're giving some of that up. When you have a child, it's documented that you're giving up some salary, you're giving up some time. Okay, well that's once again retarded. Because congratulations, thanks to women being in the workforce, you've now deflated and decreased wages because you've doubled the workforce now. And so the demand for jobs is at an all-time high. Well, the supply of workers is also really fucking high. And so the wages go down in return. Hence why it's more expensive overall to live. Not to mention, well, women also are the ones living in apartments, which makes housing costs go up higher too, instead of actually just staying at home with their parents, so they shipped out to a husband. Everything else gets inflated because you've literally doubled the workforce because of this. And that makes it harder to have a kid, which the economic argument is not a very strong argument in my personal opinion, but it's an argument nonetheless. And so therefore, women don't have the options to have a kid because they're forced to go from high school to college and then from college to the career. When they're wasting literally the 15-year window they have from 18, okay, because legally adult, 18 to, let's say, 35, which 35 is personally myself pushing it. Because once you hit 30, you lose half your eggs. But let's say 35 to be a little bit generous, okay? So 17 years. And within those 17 years, you really, a lot of women hit 30, which once again, you lose half your eggs then. Before they actually finally start settling down to have kids, and they only have maybe one, maybe two before they hit 35 if they're lucky. If you just got married when you were 20, you could puff them out like fucking crazy and have 6 before you even hit 30. Like, you don't have a choice in that case. You can't choose to have a kid. You're forced to go to college and have a career. Like, my dad was very upset with me with not going to college. Because he thought I was wasting my life. And not actually do anything about it. And he's a literal boomer. Like, you can't. You don't have a choice in the matter anymore because you have to go work. Like, it's so okay. You're basically putting women in the same position again where they don't have many options for their life. So if you replace having kids with not having kids, but one actually is detrimental to society and women too because they're significantly unhappy and they hit 30 and be like, why can't I get a man? I think it'd be better off if you just have women have kids at an early age. And then too, I think you'll hear from young women this concern that their partners are not going to pull their weight. I get into this in this piece that we have seen the real shifts in terms of how much childcare do. But it's not 50-50 and women do that because it's not supposed to be the fucking jobs to do with childcare. No, it's not the man's job to do childcare, it's the woman's job. It's literally their biological incentive. Okay, you gestate the goddamn baby for 9 months. Okay, and that becomes extremely attached to you. Like, it's extremely important. As soon as you give birth, and then you cut the umbilical cord, but you want to keep the umbilical cord on for about 30 to 45 seconds. Any longer gets a little bit dangerous, but you don't want to cut it immediately because then it's actually detrimental to the baby. So there's a sweet spot there. And you hand the money, hand the baby right into the mother. It immediately calms them down because they recognize the scent, they recognize the heartbeat. They don't recognize the dad when they're just born because the dad's a stranger. They don't recognize anybody because they've been in the woman's body for 9 fucking months, growing inside there. And the baby is super attached to the mother for the first roughly year to 2 years because of that aspect of things before it actually starts to the father. Still needs the father during that time period for obvious reasons. but it's heavily attached to the mother. And there's a reason why a lot of kids are having problems these days, just in general, but also with their parents, is because of that detachment between mother and themselves. Men aren't supposed to be doing the childcare. They're supposed to be providing and protecting. They're supposed to be going to work, coming home, paying the bills. The woman, should be cooking. So when the husband gets home, but especially when he first gives birth, if the husband can cook a little bit too, that'd be greatly appreciated. Until she gets a little bit healthier, and it works fine. That's the natural balance of things. Men aren't supposed to be doing childcare. I think a lot of women also know that they're going to end up, contributing economically 50%, and if not more than 50%. So I think there's a worry that they're going to be doing more than half the home front. It's going to be doing that at least half, and not more half career-wise. So I think that can start to seem like a bad deal too. Yeah, congratulations. Just being a stay-at-home life and not actually having a career solves all that problem. But they actually just, had kids at a young age without feminism being involved with this. All this, our ancestors figured this out for thousands of years across all cultures and demographics and denominations. Only in the past 60 years have we tried to change things up, and it's been a complete disaster for humanity. Or the Western world, I should say. This is so dumb. This is so fucking dumb. And the fact that they're trying to justify it, I mean, it's Vox, so I'm not that surprised they're trying to justify it. But it's still... There's no reason to go in. And I think, once again, the woman most affected right here, I think the part that annoys me the most is the fact that even though I'm aware of all these things myself, because I'm simply just an individual, and it's not society as a whole that has changed, I still have to go to work. I still have to have a job. In this case, I have the best job I could possibly ask for, streaming. I cannot complain about streaming. And I plan on streaming when I have kids too, right? But if I wasn't lucky, and I was, still stuck in Jew daycare myself, and I'm very grateful to you guys for supporting me to allow me to do this. But if I wasn't lucky and I didn't have you guys, I would still be working at the office or the gas station or whatever place I'd be moved to next, whatever the stuff is, because of the situation that every woman is forced into these days, even if they choose not to. And in my case, I tried my best to avoid this fate, but thanks to my own stupidity, I'm still stuck in this cycle myself. And so here I am. And it's just very frustrating overall. Very, very fucking frustrating. Especially when you try to do things right, knowing full well in advance how to try to avoid it, and you still get stuck in the same shitty fucking position. Thank you, Clarky, for the 500 warp tokens. It's not too late, gas station manager studies is waiting. You know what? The gas station actually wasn't all that bad. I'm not gonna lie. If I need to put the fries in the bag ever again, I'm probably gonna go back to the gas station. Back in the day, you had a marriage arranged for you, so you didn't have to think about these things? Yes. Not exactly completely arranged, depending on what level of society that you were in. But women weren't shipped off to the slut factories of college, right? So you would stay with your parents. You would stay at home. And then you go about your day doing your girl things. And you go to the park and you can randomly meet a man there. And you can hit it up and you can talk, and within a few months get married afterwards. Because that was just how things worked back then. So, you didn't even put out, right? You didn't have sex on the first date. You didn't do any of this stuff. You just talk and flirt, go on a couple dates, meet your parents, get the sign off of approval from the father, and get married within 6 months to a year. After that stage. And then don't have to worry about it ever again, because they didn't have to worry about Me Too and women accusing men of sexual assault and other things like that. You just meet, talk to men, get married. That simple. Didn't have to worry about any of this fucking shit. That goes into dating these days. Thank you, Clarky, for the $5 reviews. Thank you. Both white men and women, okay, mostly women, need to shut the fuck up, get off the internet, stop waiting for the perfect whoever, and couple up. So I got complained about his girlfriend wanting to get married on Cuck It today. Okay, well, I enjoy seeing her knocked out by some other guy because she's ready to breed. Damn. I mean, it's on Reddit, so I'm not that surprised that they're upsetty about getting married if there's a man on there, because I don't consider men on Reddit to be really men in that case. Unless you use it for like the tech forums, because the tech forums are actually pretty useful. You can actually get a lot of good information from Reddit. They're on the more technical side of things. I think cultural is fucking cesspit there, which is unfortunately this is a cultural thing. But yeah, you just need to actually touch grass, and it works. Well, ish. Ish is the key word, but you gotta try. You gotta try. Maybe the thing that surprised me the most is that it would appear that Gen Z men, in particular, the trend is towards a more of a preference for traditional division of labor. This idea that being the man means to be the breadwinner. I'm going to scream. I do think the piece with some polling and data we see from Gen Z men, just like expressing a variety of traditional gender ideas. I talked to a guy who does a lot of polling with Gen Z, and he did say that when he polls young men, they really associate masculinity with being a provider more so than they do with any characteristics. I also think we're seeing other moves in the opposite direction. Oh, what other moves in the opposite direction? They're literally just the traditional gender roles. They have worked for thousands upon thousands of years. And men are aware of this. And because they want to bring it back. No one is happy with the current scheme of things, not even women. Like I said, every single complaint that they had here can be solved by just having men be the breadwinner once again. If you just play this out a little bit, it seems like this is going to be a problem, with young men and young women moving in different directions, wanting different things, having competing visions of what it means to be a dad or a mom. And of course, politically, young men are moving to the right, moving more to the left. How's that going to play out? It won't be like South Korea, honestly. You know, it's definitely something that I think we see a lot in data and something we talk about a lot. Something that, like, has real implications politically for elections. It's implications for families. But I think the bottom line for me, just from all my reporting about families and childbearing, all this kind of stuff, is that there are lots of ways that we can make it easier for as a country for people to have families that they want. 2 things, like paid leave or affordable childcare. If you're worried about all these men who really want kids and women are not so sure, a great way to address that worry is support the women. And I think that ends up helping everybody across the board. Okay, once again, woman most effective, chat. Lads, your issues don't matter. Who cares if you want kids? Who cares if you actually want to be the breadwinner? Well, women most effective, so we must actually support women. Because if women don't want to have kids, well, marital rape's illegal now. Ugh. That's so fucking annoying. You just get them off birth control. Get them off SSRIs. Get them out of the workforce. They will want to have kids. I've heard so many stories of women who get off birth control and SSRIs, and they're like, wow, I'm horny again. Wow, I really want to have kids. There was like this one Reddit post where this like 33-year-old woman, or some woman in her early 30s, she was married, but her husband had a vasectomy because they promised to never have kids. But she got off either SSRIs or birth control. I think it was SSRIs. Because she switched them or whatever the case is. And all of a sudden, she's like, wow, I really want this man to impregnate me. Never had a desire in years, and she's like, wow, I really want that to happen. Oh, wow, imagine my shock when you take artificial chemicals that suppress your immune system. Well, not really suppress your immune system. Well, I guess it kind of does depend on what it is. But to suppress your biological desires and change you hormonally and chemically, especially from a young age, when most women are on birth control at 14, 15 years old. It really fucks you up, doesn't it? Is there a world where women are able to have children without paying the professional price they've had to pay? Yes! By just keeping them at home. That will be the professional job where they belong. Because once again, this whole supporting childcare stuff, like affordable childcare, no. Why would you give a random woman your child to raise instead of yourself? That's your own fucking kid. You're a woman yourself. You can raise your own kid. You're just giving another woman a job. Hey, like, this doesn't do anything. It makes things worse. Paid leave doesn't help it either. That baby needs to be at the woman's hip for the first year and a half, I would say, of their life. They should not, like even 6 weeks of maternity is not enough. Not enough. That is essential to the baby's upbringing. The first from birth to 6 years of their life as the most developmental years of their life. The first couple of them heavily require the mother, and the rest definitely require a lot more father involvement, that structure and stability in their life. First couple years, need a mother. I hate it. I hate this so much. I hate this so fucking. Sure, I mean, there's plenty of countries where the wage gap is smaller. You know, generally what people talk about again is that the things like paid leave and affordable, accessible childcare. Okay, well, what's the demographics? What's the demographics of those? Are you gonna bring up like Scandinavia by chance? In countries where women take really long leaves, like a year or longer, you tend to see less parity career-wise and wage-wise. But in countries where women can pretty easily take 6 months and don't have access to good childcare options that are affordable, you see better parity. It's possible. It's not pie in the sky. Are there... Oh my god! They literally bring up Scandinavian countries! I fucking called it! Congratulations! I know Sweden's like the rape capital of the world these days. But like, still, the demographics of these countries are not something you want to address here. Another thing that experts pointed me to is Scandinavian countries that have introduced paternity leave. That's sort of a use it or lose it. The family has X number of weeks leave. Y number of weeks can be used only by the dad. If the dad doesn't use it, then you don't get it. And that really incentivizes men to take that time and been a big driver of social change in the countries where it's been tried. Yeah, because dads actually want to be fathers. And it actually is good for the dad to be there to take care of the mother. They honestly both really need paternity they need leave. Because, well, giving birth is a natural thing. It does leave the woman incapacitated for a long period of time. And it makes it hard for her to function, especially if she wasn't taking care of herself when she was pregnant. And so having the father there to take care of the woman while she's taking care of the baby helps significantly for both their relationship and for the baby and for the woman and for also the dad too, because it helps. It's a bonding moment where they're working together as a family as they're bringing new life in the world. So many stories have been told where a woman has, obviously the pain of childbirth is there, but there's a chemical that goes through that makes her forget about that pain. And also, once again, if you take care of yourself, it's not as painful, but different story. And as soon as the baby is in her arms, she immediately wants to know her kid. As soon as the baby's in the father's arms, he wants to know her kid. Like, it's just, once again, a biological desire within them. Yes, so that helps a lot, too. It helps a lot, too. Like, but, just... This is how it ends. Once again, woman most affected. This article is basically just woman most affected. This is so dumb. Like, we got a little bit of talk about, like, okay, what about Gen Z men? You know, what they want. But who cares what you and Chad actually care? You know, the men in Chad. You are just goy slaves. No, women most affected. What do women want? Okay, women are nervous. They don't want to have kids. They've been fucking one-shot by all these different drugs and feminism. So therefore, they don't want kids. And so since they don't want kids, you shouldn't have kids. And Gen Z should be suffering in men instead. Who cares about this gap that's being divided, you know, widening every single day? You know, you're a man. Ugh. I hate this so much. I mean, it's Vox, so, like, I wasn't expecting anything crazy from them. The fact that they're talking about this at least 10 years too late is, like, annoying as it is. But at least they're addressing it, at least to a certain degree. But this really is the graph of men and women politically. I could probably find it. If give me, like, 5 minutes, because I have so many statistics at this point. And if you put like 5 things within a folder, it gets all fucking wonky here. But it's literally just talking about the graph that's been passed around for years now. And it's heaven forbid you look at the South Korea one, because that's insane too. Oh, you know what? You know, here we go. Not the graph I was looking for. But did you know, chat, that if you give men a pay raise, it led them to have more children, while giving women a pay raise led them to have fewer children? Because women are resource hoarders, and they don't actually like sharing what they have because they're so used to being provided for by men and doing what they can to keep those provisions. They don't actually, it doesn't incentivize them to have kids. Because kids take those resources, but if they're given to them, it's a different story. Let's see. So 5% increase in wages of women was the red line. 5% increase in wages in men. Number of children change from baseline. This is the age. So for some reason we're at 25. But number of children. So you give an increase in men, and they have kids. At least one kid, more or less. Here, so somewhere in this range. This is with less skilled. But if you give women a pay raise, it drops to almost -4. And you're probably being like, okay, well, what's actually, how do you make negative children? But I'm assuming it's like averages together. And it's not, and then once again it rises, so like, oh wait, I want to have kids again, even though I'm way past my prime at 35 to 40. And then high skilled, it's the same thing. We got 0.5% for men versus, once again, -4 for women. Like, this is just crazy. Fertility and family labor supply. Abstract. We study how fertility decisions interact with labor supply and human capital accumulation of men and women. First, we use longitudinal Danish register data and tax reforms to show that increased wages of women decrease fertility, while increased wages of men increase fertility. Second, we estimate a life cycle model to quantify the importance of fertility adjustments to labor supply and long-run gender inequality. Wage elasticities of women are more than 10% lower if fertility can't be adjusted. Finally, we showed that the long-term consequences of human capital depreciation around childbirth is an important driver of long-run gender wage gap in the model. So, Fox, you think affordable childcare and pay raises and stuff like that are really what we need to cause the gender divide or make it smaller? I think not. I think not. Let me try one more time to find the statistic I was trying to look for in the first place. Probably gonna take me a couple minutes regardless. This whole thing's such a fucking mess. Oh, stop being a sorry. My computer wigged out there. And I almost wigged out as well in return. Okay, here we go. Here's another one. Not exactly the one I had in mind in particular, but close enough. The partisan gap between young men and women almost doubled in the past 25 years. Political ideology of U.S. 18 to 29-year-olds by gender. So, more liberal goes up at the top, more conservative goes on the bottom. Here, back in the 2000s, it was a 12-point gap, so women were more liberal, but that's to be expected because of how their empathy works. Well, men were more conservatives, and there were some ups and there were some downs a little bit. But notice how all of a sudden, after the economic crisis of 2008, just goes all the way up here. Now, apparently it's going down now that we're in around, let's say, 2025. Well, that's still a massive gulf, or it's a 23-point gap. Now, men, I'm surprised this is not a little bit more. I'm surprised it's a little bit higher. Back in 2026. Or 2025, I should say. But let's say this is like 2023-ish. You know, men have been more conservative before, but they were more or less in line, like dipping together to be more conservative, raising to be more liberal. But just after the economic crisis just goes shoop, shoop, shoop. I wonder what happened down there. Just curious. Just curious what happened during that time period to make it go all the way up. All the way up. Oh, we had the male feminists here. I can't believe. This is a Gallup poll. And so it kind of depends on depends on where they get their information from. Right. But generally, this is a trend you see across the board. But I can't believe men in, let's say, 2016 were more liberal than women were in 2005. But then again, I was a small child then, so I don't know what was happening in 2005 other than more wars in the Middle East. Fox is a rag anyways. Oh, I know it is. But it doesn't change the fact that a left-wing newspaper is talking about the political divide between men and women. 10 years too late, but it's still important. And they're sitting there going women most affected, as per usual. But they're still sort of kind of talking about it. Just kind of shows that the times have changed. Because if this was Vox from like 6 years ago, back in 2020, they would have been like Gen Z or patriarchal assholes that want to just rape women and make them force them to have kids because Trump is, you know, Trump was president or something along those lines. It would have been something crazy like that. Which honestly, we should rape women, white women specifically, and that would solve a lot of the problems. But alas, that's not gonna happen. In 2016, the polls were way off in favor of Hillary Clinton. That is true. That was true. They definitely did some poll shenanigans. Like, it's important to remember that you should take polls with a grain of salt. However, when there's multiple different polls from multiple different places, like this one, for example, this is the one I had in mind personally myself. Where they do a very similar thing and track it across multiple different countries that have been affected by liberalism. South Korea being the most the worst one by a fucking long shot. It kind of all adds up. U.S. once again, in this case, you know, women shooting up by a million miles. Though this one has the conservative more down here and men not going as far. I think South Korean men want to rape the woman, actually, based off how if they're negative 20 points of conservatives. Also, I like how it's the negative numbers of the conservative versus the positive numbers of liberal. I know one needs to be the negative, one needs to be the positive, just for the sake of the graph. I just find it interesting that's how they did it. Just one of those little details that just makes you think. Germany, same thing. UK, that's... Man... I know the divide between men and women are really bad in South Korea, but imagine if you're a South Korean man and you're all the way down here. Imagine getting with a UK woman who's all the way up here. Oh, man. Man, look at South Korea. The men tolerated it for so long, then they couldn't take it anymore. They live themselves. Oh, yeah. Like, but the thing is, their fertility rate's non-existent there, too. They have a shit ton of problems as well. So the feminists there are absolutely insane. Like, our feminists are pretty bad. If you go look at the feminist forums over in South Korea, it makes our feminists here in the United States look like fucking angels. They are crazy. Absolutely fucking crazy. Over there. That military coup that they tried to do a couple years ago should have been successful. That's what I'm saying. That would have solved a lot of problems. That's still mixing though? Oh yeah. Don't actually mix. It'll just be funny. I don't want to see the dynamic between a Korean man who's that far down versus a UK woman who's that far up. Don't mix, because you shouldn't race mix. But still, that would be quite the sight here. Rape the crazy out of them. Actually true. I'm just saying that if you force women to be pregnant, almost all their problems get solved. I'm not even joking. Jorking. Not even joking. If you do that, it helps them a lot. Korean men, we're sorry for your loss, but times are ahead. Yeah, I hope they can fix their country. Just like I hope that we can fix our country too. It's not gonna be easy. But it's still something that we need to do. To the best of our ability. Some way or the other. And maybe, you know, just forceful impregnation or threaten them with cat girls. So I'm just saying. If women actually get replaced by cat girls, all of a sudden they'll be roaring to go to actually have as many kids as possible. Because the last thing women want is to lose their power that they have on the pecking pole. And if they become obsolete, well, that's not a good look. That's not a good look for women, and they'll be very, very upsetting. So I'm just saying, bring the cat girls. I'm against race mixing, but modern women deserve it. To be fair, it's not their fault for the feminism been forced upon them by the tiny hats. But it'd be a good incentive for them to be dropping the feminism. So, yeah. I think so. Okay, chat. So, YouTube Pros, I'm going to be sending it over to Arch. He is playing not for broadcast. I don't know what this game is. Kick Bros, I'm sending it over to Kirsha. She's talking about something. I don't know what she's talking about either. In that case. Arch, I know is political, but you know, try to keep it on topic. Don't be too spicy. Follow his rules. Same with Kirsha, to keep it on whatever her topic is. Follow her rules. Don't be too spicy there. If you you know, remember to glow properly if you're going to be glowing. So please don't actually glow though. You know what I mean here. Rumble Bros, you stand the cut chair as per usual. I will see you guys tomorrow at 7:45 p.m. EST. To continue playing Resident Evil 5 with Temp. We should be able to finish it tomorrow. I'm hoping it's a fun game, so I don't want to finish it, but I'm also hoping that way it's finished before vacation. I go on vacation. But yeah. I thank you for all your subby bubbies, donuts, and their cost thinkings, and I hope you have a good day. Good night. Good night, chat. Hasta la vista. Remember, grab your dick and twist it. Bye.
I mean, hey, if Pac-Man affected us as kids, we'd all be munching magic pills and listening to repetitive electronic music, am I right?